KDKA-AM.com/win.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Steel.
I'm Stacy Lynn. A vigil was held in Webster Springs, West Virginia, honoring the life of U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, the National Guard member who was shot and killed in Washington, D.C. West Virginia State Senator Robbie Morris was among the speakers who praised her selflessness and sacrifice.
From the people that I've talked to, nobody is surprised that she volunteered to serve through the holidays so that others could be home with their families.
The other Guard soldier who was shot remains in critical condition. As for the suspect, he's facing first-degree murder charges. CBS's Nicole Skanga tells us they haven't found a motive yet.
Intelligence analysts are scouring the suspect's digital footprint for any signs of radicalization. So far, they've confirmed no extremist ties, according to U.S. officials. The suspect remains on a ventilator, complicating investigators' efforts to question him directly.
40 million people across the country are under winter storm alerts, which could cause some stressful post-Thanksgiving travel. Meteorologist Paul Hagen.
It's sending snow from Montana into the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Iowa, and that storm will intensify on Saturday with heavy snow and gusty winds impacting travel near blizzard conditions. Major airports impacted will include Minneapolis, both O'Hare and Midway in Chicago, as well as Detroit and Cleveland.
And there could be another big problem flying home from wherever you spent the holiday. CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports thousands of planes might require a software update stat.
Airlines around the world and here in the U.S., including American and JetBlue, are scrambling to comply with this emergency order from European regulators about the Airbus A320, one of the most widely used family of narrow-body aircraft around the world. Sunday is expected to be the busiest travel day of the Thanksgiving holiday.
And the FAA is giving U.S. airlines until 12:01 a.m. Sunday Eastern time to get that update. If they don't, they'll be grounded. President Trump is weighing in on the presidential election tomorrow in Honduras.
President Trump posted on social media supporting Tito Asfuro of the Conservative National Party. He wrote, quote, "If Tito Asfuro wins for president of Honduras because the United States has so much confidence in him, his policies, and what he will do for the great people of Honduras, we will be very supportive." Linda Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
Well, you might have hit up the big stores yesterday for Black Friday deals, but today it's all about the mom and pops. It is Small Business Saturday, and you're encouraged to go out and support the local stores today. This is CBS News.
Check off the wish list with instant savings and free battery offers on select Steel tools. Shop online at steelusa.com or in-store.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
What's the best city to move to?
The study evaluated the key quality of life metrics in U.S. cities: job opportunities, cost of living, safety, and health care. The winner, Nashua, New Hampshire, with the most number of job opportunities and the highest safety score. Also winning, the Chicago suburb of Aurora, Illinois, with a small population as well as a lower cost of living. Coming in third, it's Cleveland, which wins for affordability and a steady job market. And rounding out the top 5, Dover, Delaware, and Salt Lake City. Peter Greenberg, CBS News.
More than 80% of you said you're making a list, checking it twice, and buying stuff this weekend, according to a new retail survey from Deloitte. And the National Retail Federation's actually predicting a record turnout for the busy shopping period that began right before or right after Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday, with nearly 187 million shoppers. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Here's the latest from the KDKA Community Message Board.
Join KDKA's Marty Griffin live at Giant Eagle and Robinson this Giving Tuesday. Every dollar you give to the Salvation Army today brings joy to someone in need, helping provide food, shelter, utilities, and more. Text the word kettle to 31333 or visit salvationarmywpa.org to give with joy today. PA 211 is a free confidential service available 24/7. If you're facing challenges with basic needs like food, insecurity, housing, or utility bills, help is just a phone call away. Dial 211 or go online to pa211.org to connect with local resources today. Support the Marines this holiday season. Drop off a new toy at Monticello's in Wexford or Monticello's on Babcock Boulevard. Your donation provides a gift for the region's less fortunate children.
Details at KDKARadio.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings clouds and cold conditions with a high of 35. Then those clouds eventually yield some snow and rain late tonight with a low of 30. That snow and rain continues early tomorrow before changing to rain with little or no snow accumulation, high 42, with clouds and cold conditions again for Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Welcome to your holiday Saturday weekend edition with your Pratt Pack, and we begin by talking about something that CBS Radio News moments ago led with Trump administration yesterday directed U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services officers to pause all asylum decisions in the wake of the shooting of 2 National Guard soldiers in D.C., according to an internal directive obtained by CBS News and 2 other sources familiar with the order. Now, I think most of you know I've always been willing to say, look, our ancestors, yes, they came through Ellis Island. Many came to this country from other parts of the world because of the American dream, an opportunity to become a legal citizen and become a taxpayer and become a law-abiding citizen. I will still stand on the belief that we are all immigrants and everybody has the opportunity to come to this country and obtain legal citizenship and start to contribute, right? But I also think after this horrific incident in D.C., in which now one is dead and the other is clinging to life, we need to really take a closer look on what we are doing when it comes to letting people come to America. I never thought that I would ever have this thought process anywhere near my belief that it is time to maybe take a really hard stance as far as who is coming in, because I know those who actually could make a difference and would fulfill that opportunity that our ancestors did so many decades ago, accomplish the American dream. I just think now we have to kind of take a pause and look deep as far as what is happening in America. America has always been the land of opportunity, and most people have made the most of it. And I've often said, because we do not any longer have the grit of those ancestors who came through places like Ellis Island to stake a claim to the American dream, whether or not that they believed that these streets were paved with gold, and many of them found out really that they were not. They found a way to pave a new way for themselves and also to help America's cause to continue to be the most powerful free nation in the world. But this story of these National Guard members being shot has really dug deep into my heart and soul, and I'm sure many of you feel the same way. And it also makes me understand why the president has taken such a hard stance as far as what's happening in this world. And also the aspect of this alleged shooting suspect, possibly those connections, what is exactly the tie between his time working for the CIA in Afghanistan. I know one thing, we have a man in the White House who will do everything to make sure that he gets answers. And as I alluded to yesterday when I was in Friday afternoon, we need now more than ever to get answers. You know, there was a time when I used to say on a need-to-know basis, but now more than ever, we need to know who is coming into America. Bad intentions especially. We have to stop them before another tragic incident like the one in D.C. happens again and again and again. Let's work together, America. We have a common goal. All right, here's something that really kind of piqued my curiosity, and I was doing a little work last night getting ready for today's show. And so I took some time and did the deep dive on Governor Josh Shapiro's decision to give an extra $220 million to Philadelphia's transit system. Well, it's drawn some attention in western Pennsylvania, where one senator thinks Pittsburgh's regional transit also could use an extra boost, and another says the administration acted beyond its authority. Behind the scenes, I'm working with PRT and the administration in an attempt to secure extra funding for the smaller Pittsburgh regional transit system, said Senate Minority Leader Jay Costa, of course a Democrat from Allegheny County. Republican Senator Judy Ward of Blair County, meanwhile, said the administration did not have the power to transfer the money to the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority, SEPTA, without a legislative okay. Well, look, if it's good for them in the East, it needs to be good for us in the West. You know, I'm going to say it again. PRT is essential. It is the main artery. It's the life's blood of western Pennsylvania. That has been one of the top priorities as far as my mission promoting the Commonwealth for a very long time, because I understand what that does for people. It gives them an opportunity to be able to go from point A to point B, and in many cases be able to actually get up and go to work and take care of their family. So right now, more than ever, if you're going to do it in the East, Governor, you better find a way to help people in the West, and I'm so happy that Jay Costa is on the beat trying to figure it out. And Senator Ward as well, too, saying, let's take a quick look on how you're able to unlock the funds. What gives you the right to hold the key to the vault? Bottom line is, if you gave SEPTA the money, there's got to be a way to find that money for the PRT. I don't know, or maybe you end up just doing one across the board. I don't know as far as transit systems are concerned, but I do know this. If you remove the transit system as we now know it from the business matrix, no matter what the ridership, membership, subscriptions, all of the above are, it would literally cripple our community. Why? Because you would not be able to get to work. And when people can't get to work and earn a paycheck, then the cash flow stops in the community. And imagine what the gridlock would be, bumper to bumper traffic. I don't know if you realize this, other than reading those cool billboards on the side of those PRT buses. Just one day when you make a commute in and around this place that we call home, I don't know, just jot down mentally how many of those that you see on a regular basis. What is it, a dozen, two? Maybe it's the same bus, same route. I don't know. But sometimes I actually, just because I want to do something a little bit different, I start counting along the way. And between my commute in and out, it's got to be at least 24. That's a day. Do the multiplication and add it up. Just think about how many times those buses are taking people where they need to go. So let's keep them on the go, and let's spread the wealth. That's the right thing to do. Yeah, that's really frustrating when you think about it. I mean, and I saw that story, and the first thing I said is, now how's SEPTA getting money? What about the PRT? Why is it that I always feel that we're like second place when it comes to the East? Look, I love Philadelphia. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. But I think in politics in Harrisburg, one of the problems we've always had is that it seems as though the East always does a whole lot more in the way of getting funding the West. The only time that I really think it was divided equally is when a guy who at one time was the mayor of that great city, Ed Rendell, was governor of Pennsylvania. He actually spread the wealth. He actually figured it out. He knew what to do. So some things to think about. Let's get going. 866-391-1020, 866-391-1020. You know, you can always listen to us at 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA on the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. But you can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to kdkradio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream. And you can also go to our KDK Radio YouTube page. And if you haven't subscribed, you need to, because you'll be able to see everything, including me, at 5:14 in the morning here in the studio at KDKA. All right, let's open those phones up. Let's get going. We got open talk until 7 o'clock today, 866-391-1020. And also, if you'd like, NASCO Roofing Instant Access to our shows. Very simple. Just a click away. Email us at instantaccess@kdkradio.com. I know this National Guard story, I've lost a little bit of sleep over it. And, I got a 24-year-old daughter, and that Army specialist, Sarah Beckstrom, only 20. I mean, my goodness gracious. The thought process. What was this guy thinking? What's the connection? CIA, they're saying so far no connection to any radical groups or any kind of terrorist organizations, but what's the thought process, the mental capacity of someone who drives that far to commit such a heinous crime, and why the National Guard? Just crazy. 866-389-1020. We'll take a break. We'll get to your calls on the other side at your Pratt Pack. Good morning and welcome to your Saturday.
This weekend only, in honor of Small Business Saturday, save 20% off Sniper, your hospital-grade virus killer, Harmony Organic Insect Control, and Knockout, your multi-purpose odor eliminator. Good at EV True Value Hardware in Bethel Park and other participating True Value Hardware stores.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And, of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State and Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Tune in to 1020 KDKA Radio for Medical Frontiers with Dr. Gerald Pfeiffer from the Allegheny Health Network every Monday from 7 to 8 p.m. Dr. Pfeiffer and his special guests will cover the information that you want to know about your health and the latest trends in medicine.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I don't know about you, but the holidays, man, they just come so quickly. I mean, now we start making the push for Christmas, and honestly, it feels like it was just Labor Day, 4th of July. I used to hear people say, the older you get, the quicker time goes, and I'm like, yeah. Well, it does. It's like warp speed. I mean, I can't believe Thanksgiving. Here we are in the middle of the extended holiday weekend. Crazy. All right, Ken, Lower Borough. I'm sure he's got a lot to say. So, Kenny, take it away. Good morning.
Rob, I don't even know where to begin with this. I mean, I called in last week, and you were even talking about this specifically. The 6 Democrats that came out specifically about the military. And you know what? They said to do not follow orders. You were on the side of the Democrats. One of them was DeLuzio. And specifically, this guy says not to follow orders if you don't feel that they're the right orders or it's against the law. You came out and said Trump shouldn't have said anything about hanging. This guy drove across the country. I mean, if I was DeLuzio, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. They shot 2 National Guard people in Washington, in this country. And I look down the road. And if a Democrat gets in president the next time, are we going to leave another 20 million illegals in here? Can we afford it? It's going to get worse. I mean, I look at the city of Pittsburgh, and even the news media at this point in time, they say out of 52 cities, Pittsburgh's the cheapest to buy homes. Why? because there's not enough jobs. Schools, education substandard. They're closing schools. Well, maybe they're not. I think they voted that out. But then you have safety. It's just, at this point, everything the Democrats say at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I got to question everything. And I shouldn't have to. And you listen to the callers saying tariffs are a tax. Where were you for 50 years? We've been taxed in this state well above and beyond what we should be. I understand the Port Authority needs money. But you know what? They've tapped every source of money in this part of the state for money. And you know what? They still don't have enough. When is it enough? I just would like to know. I look past what you talk about. I look 5, 10, 15 years down the road. Does not look good. Does not look good. I mean, and what they're pushing for in this country on the Democratic side, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. And I'd like to hear a Democrat that voted for DeLuzio or voted against Trump at this point in time. Where has it been on the right? I mean, where have we been causing the violence? I've not seen it.
Well, look, my job is to get you up early and get you stirred up, so I've completed my mission. Look, Donald Trump is the right man for the job. We need this guy. And, I was talking yesterday about some of the things like France ramping up their military, this plan that Germany came up with back in 2022 about sending 800,000 troops, consisting of not just German troops, but U.S. troops eastward towards the front line to do battle with Russia. The only reason we're not in a world war right now is because Putin is still a little leery of President Trump. And now they're going to start stopping these drug traffickers from Venezuela on land. I mean, and look, you never probably would have ever thought you would have heard me say that maybe we need to pause letting people into this country. So there's some horrific things happening. But I still think the president at times inserts foot in mouth. He just needs to be a little bit more discreet when it comes to certain things he says. Not saying he's always wrong, but he just needs to take a little bit of a chill. Go ahead, Ken.
I understand that. And I look back to when I was younger, and, it was clear cut. Everything was clear cut. I mean, if you stepped out of line when you were in school, you usually didn't get suspended. You got swatted. I mean, it's clear cut. Today, there's just too much fuzzy areas, and at this point, I can't accept that. I mean, you can't leave everybody in this country unvetted. He had a picture of unvetted people on a plane, packed, coming into this country under the Biden administration. Do you not think the next Democrat that gets in, it is not going to happen again? I mean, it's going to get worse. They have to stop what they're doing and start helping the American people. And like you said, the people of Pennsylvania, if you're rich or poor, let's say, for example, you're getting some type of a rent rebate. I think they're around $600-700. A lot of my customers have gotten them. You know what? That number should be over $1,000 because of gambling revenue. If you get money back for, I think, your school tax on your taxes on your home, that's school tax shouldn't even have been here. The lottery that was promised in the 70s, it was going to eliminate the school tax, never did. 40-some% of the gambling revenue today doesn't even go toward the school tax in Pennsylvania. People on both sides, wake up. Where is your money going? It's being wasted. It's just, you have to wake up to the facts. Do the research. Do not believe me. Do not believe them. Be skeptical of everything you see on the news today. I mean, I looked at those 9 schools that they were going to close in Pittsburgh. They didn't close them, I think.
They didn't.
And the bad part is those schools needed repairs. They needed a lot of money to fix those schools up.
All right, my man. Anything else?
That's about it. Like I said, I've vented for the morning. I'm good to go.
I love it. We appreciate you. Have a great day. All right, let's go to Teddy up on Mount Washington. Ted, good morning, and welcome to the show for a Saturday. How are you?
What's going on, Rob?
I'm just pushing my way through the holiday weekend. Short turnaround from yesterday. I'm going to burn a lot of daylight till 1 today and the marathon tomorrow. So just pacing myself, young man, pacing myself.
There you go. We all should pace ourselves.
Amen.
But
what Ken said, he's right on the money. I will say this. There's a lot of waste and taxpayers are being ripped off. But when it comes to immigration, look, this is why people vote for Trump, Rob. This is exactly why people voted for Trump. If you're a Democrat, hey, you need to pay attention. When it comes to illegal immigration, when it comes to the border, when it comes to crime, the Democrats lose every single time. Look, this guy was fed, clothed, and sheltered with taxpayer money. And meanwhile, we had a woman die underneath the Smith Street Bridge, who was born in this country, by the way, homeless. And Rob, this is what really burns me up as a Pittsburgher and American. When you talk about resources, where it needs to go, you take care of your own first. Okay? Take care of your own. This is why this mayor in Pittsburgh is gone. That mayor in New York is gone. And guess what? That mayor in Chicago is going to be gone. 3 black mayors who didn't heed that advice, take care of your own first. And they should be gone. And any politician, especially the Democrat, who does not learn this lesson will be gone. And like I said, I did not vote for Trump, did not vote for Harris. And to me, Harris as a presidential candidate, are you kidding me? She refused to answer our question. Why did Joe Biden let in over, 10 to 12 million people in this country illegally? Every time you ask her, she says, well, we had a bill for comprehensive immigration reform. She refused to answer that question. She was supposed to be the border law. And this was under Biden's watch and her watch. Trump is absolutely right about this. And, and like I said before, we need to take a tougher stance. And same thing when it comes to crime. And I told you before, you're going to see Americans dying in this country. And what happened? We got our terrorist attack. Because we have not, for some reason, taken crime and taken illegal immigration seriously. Only one Democrat did, Fetterman. He was way ahead of other Democrats when he says, you know what, sealing the border should not be a partisan issue. Crime should not be a partisan issue. He's 1,000% right. And this is why I can't vote for Spiro. Can't vote for him, man. Because if you ask him about these issues, he's on the wrong side. Absolutely on the wrong side. And most Democrats are. And I remember this mayor. He said, well, I'm not going to support ICE. Great. Now we got a terrorist attack. Now what? So I'm not surprised, Rob, and I told you before. When it comes to the Democrats, for some reason, they can't get their head around issues that affect Americans. And like I said, I did not vote for Trump because I told you he's going to be revenge tour. Well, on some issues, he's right on it. Absolutely right on it. We as Americans have to face the fact that we live in a dangerous world. Okay? I'm not scaring people, but we got evil people. And unfortunately, they're in this country. We don't know who's who. And this is not new. They did it, I think, all the way back to World War I. They didn't allow Germans in this country. Okay? That's where your immigration policy came from. They invented Germans here. They invented everybody, even Italians. So this is not a new thing. So we need to take this seriously.
I'm telling you right now, there are some evil people in this world. I mean, you just think about the mindset of this Afghan who literally came across country to shoot 2 people. I mean, what's going through the mind of these people? I mean, and all the mass shootings and things that we deal with. That's why right now I'm concerned about our safety and security, especially with what's happening in Ukraine. This thing is one flip of a switch away from escalating throughout Europe, and I don't know if we're prepared to defend ourselves. I mean, it's just we're not, Teddy. We're not.
The mindset is just I don't know where it's at. You got certain parts that say they want an open border, flat out. Okay, they believe in that. They think everybody should come in here, be citizens or whatever, or we're citizens of the world. They really think that. And when you do that, your country pays a price. When a country has no border, they lose their culture and they lose their language. Okay? there's not a country in the world that doesn't have secure borders. If they do, if they don't, it's mayhem.
All right, Teddy.
And that's what you're starting to see in the United States.
I appreciate you, man. I got to get to a break. So let me ask you, as we go to break, should we basically just stop letting everybody come into this country for a while? Should we put a pause on it and just take a deep breath and start to vent and look very close who is in this country? I mean, is ICE doing the right thing? I mean, it's got to stop. I mean, it's just got to stop. I mean, we can't even take care of the people that are in this country now that have been born in this country. I mean, very evident right now what's happening with the economy, what we went through with the pandemic. 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Tune in this Sunday morning at 8 for the Coons Cooking Hour with Rob Pratt and the Coons Market Team when they discuss pasta and sauce recipes. It's the Coons Cooking Hour, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer.
For generations, you've listened to us in your kitchen, catching baseball games on your front porch, and ending your day as your bedtime buddy. Now, you can watch us every day on your TV with our new KDKA Radio YouTube page or by clicking on KDKA-radio.com. It's presented by Metropolitan Windows. Same great content, more live visuals. The voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
CBS News Brief. A National Guard member shot and killed in the line of duty is being remembered for her selflessness. At a vigil last night, West Virginia State Senator Robbie Morris praised U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom.
From the people that I've talked to, nobody is surprised that she volunteered to serve through the holidays so that others could be home with their families.
40 million Americans are under winter storm alerts. Meteorologist Paul Hagen says several Midwest states are expecting
heavy snow and gusty winds. Major airports impacted will include Minneapolis, both O'Hare and Midway in Chicago, as well as Detroit and Cleveland. Over a foot of snow could add up within this winter storm warning.
Hundreds of planes need a software update by 12:01 a.m. Sunday.
Airlines are scrambling to comply with this emergency order about the Airbus A320, one of the most widely used family of narrow-body aircraft around the world.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
Calling all grades 9 through 12 students. Are you ready to think big, act bold, invest smart? Junior Achievement Stock Market Challenge presented by Citizens returns December 11th and 12th at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. Teams of 3 to 4 will compete head-to-head in a simulated stock market, making fast decisions, responding to real-world trends. No experience required. Win cash prizes, claim your trophy, and maybe represent Western Pennsylvania at the national level. Teachers, mentors, volunteers, your role matters too. Go to jawesternpa.org and secure your spot today.
You've just crossed over into the antique zone.
At Ian Miller Antique Mall, save 20% starting Black Friday through December 31st. Join them for their Christmas open house Saturday, December 6th from 10:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. Enjoy cookies, coffee, free raffles, and store-wide savings of 20% off and less marked firm. Santa Claus will be visiting from noon to 3 p.m. Don't miss it. Ian Miller Antique Mall in Verona. Like them on Facebook or call 412-828-3288. New to Medicare, get covered with MediConnect. Listen Wednesdays around 1:40 to hear Lance O'Brien of MediConnect help you navigate the Medicare process. Simply great, unbiased information to get you the best healthcare coverage. Get covered with MediConnect. Medicare made simple.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings another cold day with plenty of clouds and a high of 35. Those clouds eventually give way to some mixed rain and snow later tonight with a low of 30. That rain-snow mix continues early tomorrow before changing to a bit of rain after little or no snow accumulation, high 42. Then cloudy and cold Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, let's get to Ron in Michigan. Ron, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Rob. Dub Bears.
I know, ninth win of the year. Pretty impressive.
Yes.
Pretty impressive.
But right now, Rob, we got some serious talk. The person called about where's the right-wing violence. January 6th, a couple of cops were killed in right-wing violence. The Brownsville massacre, where a Trump supporter went down to Walmart in Texas and shot up a whole bunch of killed Mexican-American people. Let's go with the synagogue massacre in Pittsburgh, I believe it was, where a Trump supporter massacred a bunch of people at Sabbath. I'm not going to go on with that. But you asked the question, the Afghan veteran who came over and killed our soldiers in D.C., number one, those soldiers should never be in D.C., number one. They should be in their own home state. But that's neither here nor there. But that soldier, Afghan soldier, was suffering from PTSD. Now I'm reading the book right now. The cartel of the Fort Bragg cartel, in which it documents our special forces, Delta forces, soldiers bragging about how many people, Afghans, they've killed, and not just soldiers, Afghan civilians. One guy brags he killed 100. When these guys are all jacked up on every drug you could think of. Our best killers. Don't get me wrong. We need these guys. They are our best killers, but they live in a world of violence. Okay, and PTSD. Almost every soldier coming home from the military, even basic training, you can acquire PTSD. And these guys are walking time bombs. Okay, and U.S. soldiers, if they qualify, they get some medical and mental treatment for PTSD. But this Afghan veteran coming over here, and he worked for us, okay? He's the guy who set up those soldiers, our special forces, to go into those villages and massacre those people, sing their dogs on them, chew their fingers off, okay? And that violence is home now, okay? It's home in the sense of these veterans who are suffering from PTSD in a government that is cutting programs for PTSD and veterans. So what do you expect? Okay, and like I said, these soldiers whose lives they sacrificed to help us in Vietnam or Afghanistan or Turkestan or whatever stand you want to put it, and now their families are being massacred in their home, Afghanistan or whatever. And how do you think they're going to feel, Rob? You know, we set up these time bombs. We go into Vietnam. We go into to set up the drug trade, the heroin trafficking. That heroin trafficking continues Afghanistan, and we protect it with our Marines. Give me a break. You know,
I know you do, Ron. I'm just going to let you kind of go vent and relax a little bit. But it's the same story. I know how you feel. It is what it is. You have that thought process, and that's okay. All right, let's go to Joanne in Squirrel Hill. No, she's in Point Breeze, and we got Jane in Squirrel Hill coming up next. Go ahead, Joanne. Good morning.
You know what? That guy's absolutely right. First of all, we should not be there. Our worry is what we have here. Skinheads, all kinds of people that want to go after the government. January 6th, you had thugs and mugs and everything else, and then they want to make excuses. There was no reason for them to go up there. And then you had this man egging him on and not stopping him, even when his daughters say, "Dad, you have to stop this." And as far as are they right to have these people in? No, everybody. Washington, D.C. was my second home. Everybody knows who the gang leaders are, who the people are. Here in Pittsburgh, years and years ago, when they got all these people up and put them in jail, we had peace and quiet for 10 years until many of them got out. But they should have did the same thing. Instead of sending troops over there, they should have rounded up all those gang leaders, all those ones that everybody, including the police and everybody else, knew who they were, and they should have put them away for a good while and not sending troops up so this fool can, this man who calls himself leading this country has it. And I'm sorry, the first thing I should say is God bless those families. And when you have somebody in the service, ever since he got in there, you worry. You have to worry. And here's this young woman going by his orders. Let's go in the country. And then the first thing he said, we're going to send 100 more people up there. You know, if somebody wants to kill you or do something, they'll find a way. You can have 1 million troops there, and they'll slide under the woodwork or somewhere and do what they want to do. He is so wrong. You know, we have to worry about our own country, worry about the people in our country that's trying to bring us down, that would do anything if somebody offered enough money to go against any one of us, any color. And you see what this man did. He didn't care who he went after. He went after everybody with his people had worked all their lives. Do you know what it is to stay on a job for 25 or 30 years and have this idiot come in there and say, now you're not worth nothing?
All right, Joanne, that's good. That's good. That's enough. Gee, man. Unbelievable. It's like I could just paste them from the week prior and put them on the air. So I don't know. I respect the opinions, but we're never going to get anywhere in America if we just start by always having the blame game. Why can't we learn to solve issues? All right? And I think that's what the guy's trying to do. I mean, for whatever reason, whatever we created, whatever we did, there's a 20-year-old who is dead because of this person's action and another person clinging to life. And the reason the National Guard are there in the first place because of violent acts like this that are happening every day. 866-391-1020. Maybe we just need to stop letting people come into the country for a while because we can't even take care of the people in this country. 866-391-1020. Jane, Squirrel Hill, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Okay, Rob, if we didn't have sanctuary cities, we wouldn't have the problem because Washington, D.C. is a sanctuary city just like Pittsburgh, just like Chicago, where the law enforcement is seen as the enemy, and the victims of crime are not protected. Now, but that's not why I called. I called to say that this young man was 29 years old, the father of 5, living in Washington State and driving across country. He's been here, for 4 or 5 years since Joe Biden, not vetted, brought into this country. Supposedly he helped us. Well, he's 15 years old. What kind of help could he have done for the Americans in Afghanistan? That's my question. My next statement is the seditious 6, particularly Slotkin and DeLuzio and Kelly, the 3 of them, I remember their names. They're out there, and their actions probably prompted this guy to go and do what he did. But who else online was provoking this guy? Don't tell me that the same people who put together the group of 6 and unleashed them to come out and say to the armed forces, you don't follow illegal orders. Now, when Slotkin was interviewed, I think it was by Martha Raddatz, she couldn't come up with one illegal order that Donald Trump has issued. Okay, we've got enemies within this country who have infiltrated probably the Democratic Party and most definitely the U.S. government, and they are working to bring us down. And we have useful idiots like those 2 previous callers who hate. They hate Donald Trump, and they can't put 2 and 2 together to see it's not Trump. There's a subversive element in this country that has a license, and then you have to ask yourself why. Why? Because they accept money from seditious people. These people we elect, and I don't know why we elect them, they take money from foreign governments. They take money from people who want to work to bring us down. And it's time that every American opened up their eyes and paid attention to who's on the ballot and what their motivations are. That's it.
Well, but here's what bothers me, Jane, is that we are so divisive in this country. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I actually had a show or a conversation to where the majority of people put America first. They just don't do it anymore. We do not stand together anymore in this country on any subject.
The force forces inside. They're fomenting hate, and they're working to divide the American people, and they're dividing it among religious, ethnic, and sexual lines. Those are the three things. And they go against the haves versus the have-nots. Hey, look, a rising tide lifts all boats, and I'm all for it. I want everybody to have a good life. But as it stands right now, if you're aligned in any way with the government, whether it's the local government to promote your sports teams or promote your real estate development deal, or the state government to get your transit system money and not in the West, there are all sorts of forces here that are working through the government. When was the government so important? All the government is supposed to do is protect our borders and protect our liberties. And all of a sudden we're looking at them to feed us, to shelter us, to think for us. And we've got a bunch of working idiots in the school systems. We've got teachers having sex with their students. When did that ever happen? Our society is warped, and we've got to get a hold of it. And how do you do that? You've got to pay attention to what's going on in your own household.
I don't know anymore if it's even possible, Jane. I think we're so far off the deep end that I don't know if we can recover. You want to know the truth?
Well, people ought to get off their devices. I've said this before. But then if you look at Michigan, where your one caller's calling from, you've got an entire city of Dearborn, Michigan, that is separate and apart, essentially, because it's a Muslim place. And they operate under Sharia law. And that's an example of people who are brought into this country, and they're living together, and they're having an allegiance not to the United States. So then you go over to Minnesota. They've brought all these immigrants into Minnesota, these Somalis. What are they doing? They're defrauding government programs, and they're sending money back to Somalia to fund their warlords. There's a lot of corruption here, and you have to ask yourself another thing. Why did they get rid of Elon Musk and Doge? What was he uncovering? There's too much waste, fraud, and abuse, and too much corruption, and the American citizen has got to get a hold of the government and get their head out from behind the television and the computer.
All right, good stuff, Jane. Appreciate the call. Listen, you guys can get fired up at each other, but just the name calling, stop. Using profanity, stop. Okay, let's be adults, because I'm just going to tell you, moving forward, I don't want any profanity, okay? I just don't. We're better than that, and, name calling, you can stop that. You can disagree with people, but I don't want to have to interrupt people or basically cut them off. So let's just kind of tone it down a little bit. All right, the other thing, I want to talk about why Zelensky's chief of staff resigned all of a sudden, and now they're talking about funds being misappropriated. I mean, that's the last thing we need. So I want to get into that. You've got some more thoughts on the National Guard incident. Love to hear from you. Should we shut down letting people come into this country for a while? And maybe we do need to do that. 866-391-1020. Got some lines open for the first time this hour. If you want to jump on in, we'd love to hear from you. Good morning.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information. From the KDKA Radio Storm Center, presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light, online, and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio, KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a success successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And, of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State and Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
I'm with Joe Potocznik, JP Roofing and Siding. Congratulations, Joe. Triple Crown winner from Owens Corning.
Yes, Larry. We are proud to announce that we are recognized for service excellence, product excellence, and MVP based on marketing leadership and customer service.
Call Joe and his team. You'll get the best of the best. Get a free estimate for roof and siding replacements. Call the roofing replacement experts at JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711. Congrats, Joe.
Thank you, Larry.
Retirement, it's almost here. Are you ready? Well, join Kurt Kanodik and Ethan Lane of Accurate Solutions Group for your retirement blueprint. Let Kurt and Ethan help you plan for your retirement dreams. Don't miss your retirement blueprint, Sundays at 10. Investment advisory services offered through ASG Investment Management, LLC.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, I think a lot of you are really asleep at the wheel. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, you're fighting amongst each other, the D's versus the R's, okay? You're not looking at some of the major headlines that are making news around the world. You're not paying attention. Are you listening to CBS Radio News, top and bottom of the hour, KDKA? You're listening to our newscast, reading the paper? You're staying abreast of things with CBS and the other major networks? I mean, this is a very scary world that we live in right now. And there are things happening right now in other parts of the world, but we need to be ready. I mean, what happens if we get into a world war or a conflict that we have to basically get involved with our military? Are we as the citizens going to do the right thing to support the right cause? You know, I think one of the things that has happened in this society, we have really had it too good for too long. The government has found a way to continue to help people, whether it be with food or money, to give them an opportunity to figure it out. You know, there was a time in this country when you had no time to figure things out. You had to act. You could not wait. You had to take care of yourself. You had to respond. You had to have purpose. I mean, there was a time that when the job went away, you had to go find another job or two. You had to make ends meet. Do you know, this country, we don't have to make ends meet anymore. Do you understand that all we hear from politicians is the blame game, pointing fingers, shouting each other down? Whether it's the Dems going after the R's or somebody going after the president or the president going after someone else. Like this auto pen thing with Joe Biden. And he's still talking about Joe Biden. Here's the portrait of Joe Biden, the worst president. Stop, okay? Stop. Lead by example, Mr. President. Stop all of that. We don't have to go down that rabbit hole again. Okay? Kamala Harris, she'd be a bad candidate. I mean, come on. Okay, she lost. She's not relevant right now. If she wants to run again, so be it. But we should be asking, why did SEPTA get the money and why is the PRT still waiting for it? I mean, these are the things we should be focusing on and doing it respectfully, but asking these questions. And I think most of you know I want to see Josh Shapiro as the 2028 Democratic candidate. But there are certain questions that really we need to talk because of all the things that are happening right now. The violence is something we need to be concerned about. Unemployment, definitely a big problem in America. Affordable paychecks, a massive issue in America. But like PRT, that's a story that you should all be wanting to talk about. I mean, how many of you listening to me right now take PRT? I bet it's at least 30, 40% of you. And why is it that the East always seems to get more than the West? I mean, that's frustrating to me. Aren't you really representing the entire state of Pennsylvania? You know, I had State Senator Kim Ward on last week. I had State Representative Josh Kale yesterday talking about 226 and beyond, not getting into another budget impasse. Josh was saying yesterday he doesn't think that'll happen because it's an election year and people running for re-election simply want to get it out of the way. Okay, fine. But should it be a re-election that makes you want to kind of do the thing that should be like that every year the right way, early and often, and having it done and basically moving on to the next issue. We don't move on to the next issue. We're still talking about Joe Biden. Who cares? I don't want to hear about Hunter. I don't want to hear about Joe Biden. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to talk about Kamala Harris. You want to talk about her book? She's blaming Joe Biden. I don't want to hear any of this. We have a massive problem in America, a divide that I don't know if we would be able to even come close in my children's lifetime. And I got a 24-year-old that we're going to be able to fix any of this stuff. It's just insanity. And some of the things that come out of the mouths of people when they talk about this president, it's ridiculous. And I see a lot of these politicians use him as a lightning rod to further their own career. They want him to come after him. Come after them. Do you understand what politics in America has turned into? It's the WWE. It's the World Wrestling Federation. It's professional wrestling. The good guy, the bad guy. Just getting fixated on issues, and it's like they go from town to town talking about the same thing, but putting a different spin on it in the beginning, the middle, or the end, so it sounds like it's fresh. Even I know it's old, it's dirty, it's rusty, it's stale, right? But people are so gullible in this country, people think about the stuff we're talking about now is actually political issues. They actually, and it's gotten so bad that the talking heads on the Sunday morning shows, all of them, are talking about the same things that you and I are talking about. When was the last time we actually had something good? We had the Nippon U.S. Steel deal. I had to pull teeth from people to get them to talk about that? I had to go out on my own and spend my own dime to interview all these mayors in the Mon Valley to push, when it wasn't going to affect me. I'm from the Beaver Valley. I'm in that twilight of my career. It's not that I'm raising a family or starting over. This is it. The end. The credits roll. But I understand that we don't go anywhere in America unless we have jobs. And I keep hearing we're going to do this with natural gas. We're going to do this with energy. There's nothing happening. We have opportunity for an Amazon hub in Churchill. They say no to that. They would rather have an empty multi-acres that hasn't gotten one tax dollar since 1975 when Westinghouse left because they don't want the traffic. It's just, it boggles my mind. We are drowning people. We are caught up in what the congressman is saying to the senator, or the senator to the congressperson, or the president is saying to some governor from some other state that he hasn't even been there in 20 years, even as a businessman. Come on. We got some real issues in America. We got to get America back on the right track. And if it means stopping people from coming into this country for a while till we catch our breath, I don't want to discriminate against anybody, but our country is upside down. We want to bring millions into this country unvetted, and we don't have enough money to take care of people in this country. There are people starving in the community you call home, people living in the streets in the community you call home, and they're born in this country. They're United States citizens. And do you think that's the way this country is supposed to operate? I don't. 866-391-1020. We'll take more of your calls right after Rob Taylor gives you the first look at local news, coming up in 2.5 minutes at 6 a.m. on KDKA. It's your Pratt Pack. It's a Saturday.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Festivities continue, and we think of people who need our help. Brian Goulish, Vice President, Marketing Communications, Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank.
Yeah, so even with the federal aid resuming, we are bracing for record demand throughout the rest of the year, the holiday season. And just to put that in perspective, over the last 2 weeks, we've more than 2 million pounds of food out of our warehouse.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify, You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-224-5353. That's 800-224-5353. Again, that's 800-224-5353.
Already dreaming of your big summer 2026 family trip? The best homes are booking up right now. Oceanfront beach houses in the Outer Banks, sprawling lake houses in Deep Creek, and family fun condos in Myrtle Beach. When you book your dream home directly with SWAC Vacations, you not only get your first choice of dates, you save up to 15% compared to the big travel sites. Lock in your perfect summer getaway. Lock in your savings now. Get the house you want, the price you deserve. SWACK, SWACvacations.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Autopsy results conducted on a 9-month-old baby who died earlier this year show she died from a lethal mix of drugs. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office on Friday said 9-month-old Lena Bedry died from a combination of blood pressure and antidepressants, labeling the death a homicide. The Ohio Township infant was taken to the hospital in late April and died about an hour after ingesting the drugs. Penn Hills School District on Friday announced the death of one of its students. High school sophomore Victor Adeleke died on Thanksgiving, Penn Hills school officials said on its Facebook page. No other details on the 10th grader's death were announced. School district says additional counseling and support services will be available for students and staff when school returns on Tuesday. While many are hitting the stores this weekend, others are getting ready to take to the woods today for another major tradition. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
Deer season gets underway Saturday, and this is also the first year of expanded Sunday hunting in Pennsylvania, which runs through December 13th. Hunters with rifle licenses are allowed 1 buck, and with every special license, 1 antlerless deer. More antlerless licenses have been issued for 2025. Last year, nearly 284,000 deer were harvested during the 2-week rifle season, including 197,000 antlerless deer. Hunters must wear a minimum of 250 square inches of fluorescent orange on their head, chest, and back combined. David Ballarado, News Radio, KDKA.
One of the National Guard soldiers ambushed outside of Washington, D.C. this week has passed away. And while the investigation into the shooter's motives is underway, President Trump says he never should have been in the country and wants to remove even more foreign nationals that he says, quote, don't love the U.S. Here's CBS's Natalie Brand with more details.
The 2 soldiers were shot while on patrol Wednesday outside of D.C. Metro, just blocks from the White House, in an ambush attack. Prosecutors say the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanallah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national from Washington state, will now face murder in the first degree.
We will do everything in our power to seek the death penalty against that monster who should not have been in our country.
In a social media post Thursday night, President Trump said he will permanently pause migration from what he calls third world countries.
KDKA Radio News Time, 6:02. The AccuWeather forecast coming up.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings clouds and cold conditions with a high of 35. Then those clouds eventually yield some snow and rain late tonight with a low of 30. That snow and rain continues early tomorrow before changing to rain with little or no snow accumulation, high 42, with clouds and cold conditions again for Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
With 2025 coming to a close in a few weeks, Thanksgiving gives us an opportunity to number the things we're grateful for. We can celebrate the successful opening of the new terminal at Pittsburgh International and look ahead to hosting the NFL Draft, an event that will put the city in a much bigger spotlight. The downtown revitalization is well underway, with the modernization of Market Square and New Arts Landing, and redevelopment in the Lower Hill and Hazelwood Green. And developers have several projects in the pipeline, including the Esplanade on the North Shore. Not too long from now, a new mayor will be sworn in. There's optimism a new administration can address a budget deficit and shore up the Department of Public Safety and the city's aging fleet of police, fire, EMS, and public works vehicles. Finally, in the region, huge investments have been announced in advanced manufacturing and data centers. As we gather this week, let's not forget to express our gratitude for family and friends. Happy Thanksgiving from our KDKA family to each of you.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Frax on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
You know, there was a time in America that people loved this country. Flags would be flying every day, porch after porch after porch. Every parade to celebrate a Memorial Day, a Veterans Day, a 4th of July, a Labor Day. People would line the streets of Main Street, USA. Everyone was always talking about America, the greatest country in the world, telling stories of their ancestors who came here to stake claim to that American dream. You know, I've been complaining a little bit of late as far as the storytelling falling to the wayside and people not taking time to tell stories anymore. You know, isn't it amazing that a lot of our history and traditions was created by those who came here over 100 years ago and brought a lot of those traditions from the country that they grew up in or called home for many years. And it was that recipe for success that really gave America the flavor that we all enjoy to this day. My question to you is, with everything that we discussed in earnest last hour as we begin hour number 2 today, what is the recipe for success? What will make America great again? What will turn America around again? What will make this the country that we love, respect, and just anticipate every waking moment? You know, we have been in a downward spiral for about a half a century. That's right, about a half a century. And you think with all of the brilliant minds in this country, the ingenuity, that entrepreneurial spirit, we would have found a way, especially after the dot-com era and all the technology, that we would have found a way to build back our base in America. But all we have done is gone deeper in debt. We have IOUs out to places like China that are staggering when you think. And we have $1 trillion of credit card debt in America. But Black Friday sales, early reports from yesterday, extremely good. So where is the money? Who's holding the cash? The cash that could create opportunities and cash flow to truly jumpstart America. Everything has changed to the point where we do not stand in front of one another and communicate anymore. We don't pass stories down from one generation to the next. You know, when I think about Thanksgiving, I think about times during my youth that it was all about family, being together, breaking bread from that night before right through Sunday and into Monday. You know, you heard Rob talk about deer season. And I get a little bit of time, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But, you know, deer season to me is sacred. Not that I hunt, and I have never owned some guns at one time in my life, but no more. But I'm a huge fan of it, the Game Commission, what they do, the business matrix, about $5 billion annually to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is what is made because of hunting and fishing. And if it wasn't for hunting, and I'm sure a few of you out there, if you are storytellers, which are far and few between, I'm sure you could be telling me stories right now, picking up, calling, because you're on your way to park and wait for the sun to come up and walk into the woods in that fluorescent orange, something you've been doing for generations. And at one time, a parent, a grandparent on either side, right? Basically staking your claim to the great outdoors, to a tradition that has been really around since the beginning of time. Harvesting that flock, those deers, going out and doing it. They've even created this thing that is Sunday hunting to try to thin the herd. But if it wasn't for deer hunting, a lot of families wouldn't even get together, wouldn't communicate. It's amazing, but the people that I've known in my life who are serious about deer hunting are families that are really stuck together. And how many of them look at this time on the calendar as a family reunion. They come from far and wide to get together for the entire period. And of course, back in the day, it was always the Monday after Thanksgiving in those 2 weeks. And back when I was younger, people would make the pilgrimage to their camp, places like Tionesta and beyond. And they would spend the entire week living in the great outdoors, campfire, the whole works, right? And giddy, excited, I mean, tough, grizzly men who I knew in my neighborhood were involved in fierce battles during World War II, had hard jobs in the mill. They were gristled because of Father Time, but you could almost see the gleam, the joy in their eye as this day approached. And many of us who were sled riding during the winter months, we were wearing our grandfather and our father's hunting gear. You know, that checkerboard coat that was 2 sizes too big and that floppy Elmer Fudd hat. Yeah, people actually used to dress like that. They loved going out hunting, cleaning their weapons, sighting them up, going out. Remember, like taking a spotlight and trying to spot the deer? You don't need to do that anymore. All you need to do is to step out on your front porch. They're everywhere. And they are not afraid of anything or anyone anymore. The world is changing. I mean, we have basically removed the animals' habitat, whether they be bears, whether they be deer, turkey, and they walk amongst us now like our own pets because the whole ecosystem is changing. I mean, when you think about where we are in America and where we were 50 years ago, nothing really resembles anything. You have no more really thriving main streets. I remember these these little river communities in Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania during this time of year. I mean, the streets were just packed with people. You know, I drove by a couple of places yesterday that normally would have full parking lots. They're not full anymore because people have even lost the ability to enjoy themselves. People are so fed up and so upset about what's going on in America that they don't even want to take time to put stuff on pause and enjoy life a little, to actually kick back and to celebrate, to really spend time together and appreciate what life is about. People have lost the ability to smile and have fun because they don't tell stories anymore. I basically have thrown in the towel as far as attempting to get people to talk about the good old days or to talk about what they're doing even in these present days because people are so caught up in the negative that they don't even want to go back in time because it might actually bring them some joy. I think we have gotten to a place in America because of all of the headlines and the tragedy that we talk about every day that we don't know how to smile anymore. And that's sad to me. And I hope that many of you actually did take a little time and will take some time this holiday season to spend with your family and to listen. You know, one of the things that I remember the most about my grandmother, my mom's mom, she was a great listener. And maybe she was just exhausted after working 2 jobs and cleaning the house and cooking, that when she finally did sit down, she just wanted to have someone talk and not do the talking. But I could vent, tell her anything, and I would talk to my parents, especially my mom, about anything. You name it, I talked about it. You know, I was recently with my 2 children for a couple of hours on Thanksgiving, came over for a little bit of a visit, brief visit, but it was good to see them. And they're sitting, I'm standing, I'm basically performing, making them laugh, telling stories, doing stuff. When they left, I felt like I was at work. Because my children are from a generation that it's all about scrolling, watching, listening, highly intelligent, much more so than I will ever be. I'm literally dumb as a box of rocks compared to my children. But I got to tell you, I'm a storyteller because I'm a bouquet of information because I lived it. I embraced it. And I want them to do the same. So if I have to give them 2 hours of stand-up to make them laugh uncontrollably and leave them with some positive thought in the brief time that I see them, I may not see them now until Christmas because they're busy. It's life. But I'm going to do everything I can, either with them or you, my radio family, to make you appreciate and hopefully find a way to engage you in some stories that could make a difference in your life. Because you matter. We all matter. This country matters. And we have to stand up for America and our history and continue to tell stories so we can give future generations the opportunities that we had. Why? They deserve it. Because they're Americans. And that's what America is all about. 866-391-1020. It's your Pratt Pack. Good morning.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State and Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Pittsburgh and Cranberry Township. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Join Rob Pratt every Sunday at 11 a.m. for Black and Gold Sunday, presented by Coons Market, your hometown Pittsburgh grocer. Rob keeps you posted on Pittsburgh sports with 2 hours of exciting talk. That's Black and Gold Sunday, 11 to 1, presented each week by Coons Market.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer: an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hear about it, then talk about it. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Georgie. How are you, George? Thanks for holding on, and good morning.
Well, you snake charmed me with your nostalgia, which I do love. But I have a bone to pick, and it's not really just with you. It's something that's been going on with the media, the whole entertainment industry, for so long. Even in the 70s, they used to say, got to have sex and danger at one cell. And then somehow we got on the talk radio, which I love and I'm addicted to. I'd say, for me, it was the start of 2001, right after 9/11, trying to get answers there. Then what I hear now, it's so divisive, especially here. It's entertainment. When someone gets backed in the corner, well, don't take what I say is whatever because it's only entertainment. Most of us out here in radio listening land still have the respect for the old Harry Reasoners and all them. When we heard them through the media, not knowing what genre of the day they were on, what segment or whatever they were on, we kind of took what they said as gospel. That might have come from when President Kennedy was assassinated, and that was 1963. I was a second grader. You were a first grader. We had a lot of attentiveness for anything via the TV or the radio, and we were a lot smarter of a country when we had 3 stations plus maybe channel 1 or 13. So, I just want to say that because most people get caught up in that. And it's a shame we get a lot of callers that call in. They talk about the same thing. The same things have been going on for a long time. I'd say the only thing that's made a positive impact is Mother Nature has taken over. We could look at any of these towns from 50 years ago, and I was there. I was working. Right now, I was off. I had Friday, Saturdays off, 75. Had my first turkey I got with buddies from Brownsville for Thanksgiving. And then Sunday, if I worked finished up midnight, as we used to say, then I went back to work on Sunday daylight. And guess what? You didn't really see deer. You didn't see the hawks. You didn't see the river really cleaned up. You did not. You didn't see walleye and bass in that Mon River. It was still relatively as copper as it was 10 years earlier in the 60s. Once that mill closed down for a few years, guess what? Mother Nature came back. By the mid-'80s, it came back. And you saw bait shops and you saw other things. You didn't see industry en masse, but you saw things come back. So that's one thing that makes a comeback is Mother Nature. It's a shame things are so diversified now or so split by design in this country that you don't have the old-timers out to take their kids, and the kids aren't interested out in going, waking up right now or earlier and going to get maybe a breakfast first and taking a ride, even somewhere as close as near Seven Springs. That's where we used to go. Deer hunting, I'm talking now. And that was a great time to reflect, pause, rest, and reflect, as I used to joke and say, with my friends' dads. My dad didn't hunt. My dad was in Korea. My dad, knowing what I know now, probably suffered from post-traumatic stress. Hunted one time when he come back, got a pheasant, didn't enjoy it. And my other uncles that went, he called them the great white hunters. He always said, I'd like to see what they'd do if somebody was shooting back. So there was a little angst there, too. And it wasn't always the Yellow Brick Road. But I enjoyed hunting. I enjoyed looking at the Sears catalogs, the wish books, looking at the wool riches you were talking about with the checkered, the old wool clothes, and just everything that had to do with that. I really enjoyed it. But I don't think that is out there, and that's going to die off, and a lot of things in this country are going to die off. The only thing that makes money now is sports, or I heard that one lady said that kind of slanted, what was her name, from Point Breeze, and a lady before, but she did talk about our local public officials are more interested in bringing in sports teams and sports affairs, they're probably talking about the draft coming up, than they are about real deals, and that's true. Everything's always got to be big, big, big. And hey, if we want to talk about WWF, who worked with McMahon to get that type of imagery? That was Donald Trump years ago, and I didn't even know that. My brother told me that back at 16 when I was in Trump's corner. My brother lived in New York, and people were and they weren't then. It's different now. A lot of differences we don't discuss. There's a difference between true conservatism and overblown capitalism. You know, would you sell yourself out just to get some kind of a couple years' worth of a vein of coal out of your backyard and then pollute everything around you? That's the mentality where we're going to again. because of all this fear. There's a true difference in this country on how people used to think, wholesome people, like your guys that were president of the NRA. I've been a member of the NRA almost all my life, from Charlton Heston, Roy Rogers, all those guys. Those were true, like cowboys. True, those were true Americans right there, too. There were a lot of different genres of Americans. That crap we see now, these spoon-fed yuppies that have been around for 40 years, it's sickening. They don't know anything about any of this. They really don't. They don't know about industry. They never experienced it. They don't know about working 2 jobs, being a returning student in the daytime and working nights, doing anything from cooking, catering, delivering pizzas, scraping mozzarella off the store till off the floor of a store till 2 a.m. They don't do that.
You know what's sad, George, is the fact that when we grew up, you mentioned the Sears catalog and that rite of passage. Yeah. Every young man who turned 12 years of age, 13, took the 2-week NRA course, got a .22 caliber for Christmas. Your dad showed you the way. You'd go target practicing, what have you. You even mentioned guns today. It's like you have used the worst profanity possible. And it's a shame because we've lost all of that. But do you see what really made all of that possible is gone? Where you're from, Clairton, the whole mill, that you're like one of the last. There's no one standing like the Mon Valley anymore. It's based, and if Nippon doesn't come in, that's gone too. That's the only connection to the best years that we've had in Western Pennsylvania, right where you live, where you call home.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's 6 months of pretty much near silence right now since Trump was up Irvin Works right at the end, right around Memorial Day. That's 6 months ago, And I guess things go without being in the news and being all broadcasted like the WWF. But I haven't heard anything. And I told you most people, if not all, I hate to generalize, didn't even mention the pawn still. But I don't hear anything about it right now. I really don't.
It's a shame. Well, they should be talking about it. Anything else before I turn the page?
If you want to talk about deer hunting, I'd like to hear some stories out there from folks.
Yeah, so would I, but nobody tells stories anymore. I'm telling you, I've tried to do it with a feast. I've tried to do it with Veterans Day, and I used to get calls, unbelievable calls on the first day of deer season or close to it. Nobody does it anymore. Nobody talks about it anymore. And sadly, I think many of the storytellers are no longer here. They're dead.
I think so. I turned 69 yesterday.
Oh,
You're
happy
going to be
birthday.
69 in a couple of months.
I know.
So a lot are falling by the wayside.
Listen, when I used to do the feast show, I just would say we're on the air. And we could be on the air for 8 hours and the phones would never stop ringing. Nobody calls anymore. So I'm not going to really push it. Because then I just keep, baiting the hook and nobody does. So forget about it, all right? We're going to talk about stuff that we're living with right now. And right now the phones are kind of jumping because people want to talk about this stuff. And if it can make a difference in the big picture, then so be it. That's what I want. You don't want to talk Christmas cookies? You don't want to talk Thanksgiving? That's okay. We'll talk about stuff that matters, but we should also be making sure that we're electing people to office that are actually engaging in conversation. I can't tell you the last time I heard a clip, saw a video, saw something on social media or in print about a politician who really is going to follow through with a particular plan that's going to make a difference. And I've interviewed them all at all levels. I've interviewed former presidents. I've done it all, vice presidents. It's been forever. We need to get back to actually generating things that become a reality because they were a possibility. And it's just frustrating to me. All right, we're going to get some calls on the other side. In the meantime, I want to get you ready for the news with Rob, and then we'll come back. Don't forget today, Nan Cohen is here, Dorothy's Candies at 7, 8 o'clock. It's a best-of edition of Secure Money Advisors on the Money, Brian Caranta and I. And then at 9 o'clock, it's MediConnect, the Inside Connection, as we are in the enrollment period through December the 7th. 10 o'clock, Mike Bonaszewski in today. Andy is enjoying an extended holiday weekend. 11 o'clock, Andrew Benacki. And then we wrap up our marathon Saturday with Carl Zachariah. He'll be here talking law for the elderly. So we got a lot more to do before we're done today. Love to hear from you. 866-391-1020. 866-391-1020. We'll take a short break and get you ready for the news at the bottom of the hour, and then right back at it on Rob Pratt Saturday on KDKA. Happy holiday weekend, everybody.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver. and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My Grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my Grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
This weekend only, in honor of Small Business Saturday, save 20% off Sniper, your hospital-grade virus killer, Harmony Organic Insect Control, and Knockout, your multi-purpose odor eliminator. Good at EV True Value Hardware in Bethel Park and other participating True Value Hardware stores.
Hi, this is elder law attorney Carl Zachariah. Betty called me last week because her mother's in a nursing home and had given her $30,000 2 years ago. I told her that 5-year look-back will not apply. We can get it fixed. Call Zachariah Brown at 724-942-6200 or visit PittsburghElderLaw.com.
The KDKA Radio High School Football Game of the Week, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, is back. Saturday, a state playoff doubleheader featuring Peters Township at 1 and Central Catholic at 7.
Presented by Invisalign, Allegheny Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider for high school football. Giant Eagle, Keystone Custom Apparel, and brought to you by the U.S. Navy. Forged by the Sea. Remarkable Auto Works, collision repair and service make your car remarkable. Red Ribbon Soda, Pittsburgh's Pop, First National Bank, and by Noble Environmental.
High school football lives on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Autopsy results conducted on a 9-month-old baby who died earlier this year show she died from a lethal mix of drugs. Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office on Friday said that 9-month-old Lena Bedry died from a combination of blood pressure and antidepressants, labeling her death a homicide. The Ohio Township infant was taken to the hospital back in late April. She died about an hour after ingesting those drugs. Penn Hill School District on Friday announced the death of one of its students. High school sophomore Victor Adeleke died on Thanksgiving, according to a post on Facebook. No other details on the 10th grader's death were announced. School district says additional counseling and support services will be available for students and staff when they return to school on Tuesday. Well, a popular Korean-inspired restaurant has closed its doors. Bebe's Kitchen and this nearby location, Bebe's Cafe, closed for good, according to its owners on the store's Instagram page. Bebe's Kitchen opened in 2017 on Liberty Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, but announced it would restructure as a late-night bar and supper club in January. However, the owners cite, quote, financial stress as the reason both locations have closed for good. Well, visitors to Pennsylvania's state parks are being offered new ways to enjoy the outdoors. Here's News Radio KDK's Pat Septak.
It's called glamping, short for glamorous camping, a new trend that combines the Pennsylvania camping experience with modern amenities like grill beds, electricity, and climate control.
This allows you to be close to nature, close to conservation, hear the insects, hear the birds, smell the wonderful smells of the forests and your campfire, but be in nature and be very comfortable.
That's State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Secretary Cindy Adams-Dunn. She tells us they're adding 61 glamping sites across 8 state parks throughout Pennsylvania. One of those sites is in Laurel Hill State Park in Somerset. Reservations for the 2026 season are now open. Pat Septak, News Radio KDKA.
KDKA Radio News Time, 6:32. The AccuWeather forecast coming up next.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls, whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings another cold day with plenty of clouds and a high of 35. Those clouds eventually give way to some mixed rain and snow later tonight with a low of 30. That rain-snow mix continues early tomorrow before changing to a bit of rain after little or no snow accumulation, high 42, and cloudy and cold Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, so here he is, the pride of Ohio State. Today's the day. Can Ryan Day actually have a good day against Michigan? What do you think?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I think...
this is the year.
Michigan, ranked number 15 in the country, but, Ohio State really hasn't had a real tough matchup. I know at the beginning of the year they won 14-7 over Texas, but I don't see Michigan as really too much of a threat. I know the game is in Ann Arbor. I know everybody gets up for it, but this is just a different Ohio State team. I mean, they're just a real machine. I don't see any real problems with them. And this is the year. I think this is the year finally Ohio State stops this 4-game losing streak against Michigan and pulls it out.
Let's hope so. I'm a big Buckeye fan, as you are, and I'd love to see that happen. Now, let's just some news and notes. Arch Manning, once again, now they're saying he's the Jets' #1 pick in the draft. That'll be taking place here in Pittsburgh in a couple of months. He leads the Longhorns past the Texas A&M Aggies. They lose for the first time. Lane Kiffin, could he be done with Ole Miss after they beat Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl? All speculation, he's taking $90 million in cash and going to the Bayou to be the guy with LSU. And the big ticket item today, 93.7 The Fan, maybe one of the bigger Pitt games in a long time, Pitt and Miami. So we got a lot of things going on in college football, right?
Yeah, and I'm just letting you know, I'm going to be, switching back and forth. So I'm not going to just be focused on Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, Pitt, is near to my heart as well. So, I definitely want to see Pitt take that game against Miami, which I definitely think they can. The problem is, can they get the help from Virginia Tech or Cal?
Yeah, SMU needs to lose, so let's see what happens. But I do know one thing. They have had a great run against ACC teams of late. So if there was ever a time, now's the time. How about the other thing that's trending right now, talking about, how the SEC and the Texas Longhorns were talking about this yesterday because of their schedule throughout the year and any given week. How the Big Ten and others, and even independents like Notre Dame, need to start rethinking their schedules. Especially Notre Dame shouldn't have the ability to have such a cakewalk every year that eventually will get them into the college football playoffs.
Yeah, I was watching Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of Texas last night, making his case. They said, played Ohio State, only lost by 7 and this and that. But then, on the broadcast, they said, hey, well, Texas lost to Florida, and Florida had to fire their coach this year. So 3 losses, hey, I think, you shouldn't have lost to Florida, and you wouldn't have this debate. So I don't think Texas is getting in, even with their win over Texas A&M yesterday.
I've been following Lane Kiffin forever, and obviously his father before him. When did he become such a smack talker? I mean, this guy, he just lets people have it left and right. He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of always had that little that edge about him. I for one didn't know, quote, he was this good of a head coach. There'd always been, he always been a coordinator here and there and this and that, but there's no way he's staying at Ole Miss. He's taking that money and running.
Yeah, man. And here's the thing, too. That place recruits itself. I mean, even Brian Kelly, who really wasn't a great recruiter, got some of the top players in the country. For some reason, everybody wants to play at LSU.
Yeah, I think, he said he's going to have to, he said he had to pray on it last night and into this morning and everything. I think I'd be surprised if he announces today that he's staying at Ole Miss.
$90 million. And they have to also give Brian Kelly, which he did win, they have to pay him $54 million exit dollars. So a lot of money in college football.
Yeah, there's 90 million reasons why he should leave.
Absolutely. Listen, take that jet and go. Last thing, Steelers, Aaron Rodgers back, Alex Highsmith back. If they don't win against Buffalo tomorrow, shame on them, because Joe Burrow gave us a gift by beating Baltimore.
I loved every minute of it on Thursday night, on Thanksgiving night.
Well, he looked good, didn't he?
And the macaroni that I had, and a Cincinnati win, knocking off the Ravens. Now, like you said, all we need is a win tomorrow, and we're back. I don't want to say firmly, but you got to back AFC North.
Yeah, man, it's just crazy when you think about this division and where it's at right now, and. I don't know. In the draft, how interesting that's going to be. I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. I don't know if Rodgers is going to come back. It's just there's so much stuff going on right now in the world of sports. Even the Pirates talking about spending some money, and some of the names they're talking about bringing here possibly. It may just be a lot of hot stove stuff as far as right now, but, man, it makes for interesting conversation.
And I heard what you were saying yesterday when you were about this city, Pittsburgh. If they really get their act together with the Pirates, this town will go nuts.
It'll go nuts. Listen, so I have to ask you, because I don't know exactly what your age is. I know it wasn't John Cooper. So was it Urban Meyer, who was the coach at Ohio State when you were there? Who was the coach?
Oh, when I first was there?
Yeah.
It was, John Cooper.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, 99 is when I got there. And I remember this like it was yesterday. We had Steve Bellisari as our left-handed quarterback, and we
Tressel
lost.
Was there then?
Yeah, we lost to Michigan my sophomore year in 2000. John Cooper was fired right after that, and then Tressel came in, Jim Tressel, and he won his first game against Michigan. Even though the team overall had like 4 losses, Ohio State beat Michigan in 2001, then beat him in 2002 en route to the national championship on January 3rd, 2003, but who's counting? Double overtime against Miami.
Wow.
Senior year of Ohio State.
Why did you end up going to Ohio State? I mean, especially with all these kind of cool schools around here, and you love Pittsburgh. What made you go to Ohio State?
Well, I definitely, just wanted to get out of Pittsburgh after being born and raised here. And, back then, Pitt, I always kind of viewed it as more of a medical school. And, of course, I liked the journalism. And, I don't know, Ohio State was just... I always loved watching them on TV, whether it was football, basketball. But, my coming from a big city like Pittsburgh, I wanted to go somewhere that was in a big city. Columbus was a big city, so it was kind of the perfect match for me, and it wasn't too far from home. And for some reason, I've always liked, the Buckeyes, basketball, football, and of course, back in '98, they went to the Final Four with Scooney Penn and Michael Redd.
Yep.
And I was a junior in high school then. So once they were going to the Final Four, then, of course, the awesome football team combined with the city of Columbus and, everything Ohio State had to offer, I knew I was going there.
The most intriguing thing about Ohio State for me was I called a state championship basketball game there many years ago, and we were going into the old St. John Arena, and I never realized that Bobby Knight, the basketball coach, was the 6th man on that 1960 championship team in which John Havlicek from Bridgeport, Ohio, had many great years with the Boston Celtics. Actually, was at Ohio State, too. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and I remember I covered a game at Ohio State, for the basketball team, and they were playing Indiana. And I remember Bobby Knight walking into the press conference, and everybody was quiet. And he was just talking about his days at Ohio State as well. So a lot of memories at Ohio State.
Yeah, beautiful countryside too. All right, Robbie, good stuff.
By the way, Rob.
Yep.
I couldn't watch the basketball game yesterday. I couldn't go to it.
You're talking about the Pitt, Ohio State? Yeah.
Ohio State Pitt. I said, I couldn't do it because I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be at the game rooting for both teams. So just couldn't do it.
Listen, they're not a basketball power, but it was nice to see Barry Dunning Jr. drop in 18. It was a buzzer beater. The Panthers won, so I was happy for Coach Capel, man.
Yeah, I was happy for Pitt winning. I just couldn't sit there and watch it.
You love those Buckeyes, don't you, man?
Oh, yeah, of course. But, when it comes to Pitt, Pitt versus Ohio State, I'm going to go for Pitt, but anything else, it's Ohio State.
I love my Panthers. I would love to see them get a win today. That would just be so good for the program. And would help with recruiting, and we got to see what's going to happen to Terry Smith. Penn State should just keep him, because if they don't, they're going to lose a lot of players. I'm telling you, they're going to lose a lot of players. It's going to set that program back. They almost have to hire Terry Smith, I think, to keep the recruiting class. I really
they should give him a shot.
See what happens. All right, good stuff. Let me get a break in here. We'll come back. We got Robert in Plum. We've got JD up there in the North Hills. Been a busy morning. Don't forget, coming up shortly, it'll be Nan and Dorothy's Candies. And then at 8 o'clock, Brian Carrant, Secure Money Advisors on the Money, a best of edition. 9 o'clock, MediConnect, the Inside Connection, that enrollment period for Medicare through December the 7th. 10 o'clock, Mike Broniszewski, Sarver True Value Rental. Today, some Thanksgiving weekend holiday bargains that you don't want to miss out on in a True Value store near you. 11 o'clock, Andrea Benacki, AAA East Central's Talking Travel. Then Carl Zacharias, some Law for the Elderly, coming up today in the noon hour. It's your Pratt Pack. It's a Saturday. It's the holiday weekend, and this is KDKA.
The KDKA Mobile News Fleet is driven by Jim Shorkey Kia, North Huntington and Wexford. JimShorkeyKia.com.
News Radio, KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market, with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State and Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com. Great wintertime savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. 80% lean fresh ground beef, $3.99 a pound. Healthy sweet blueberries, 1 pint package, $1.99 each. And selected varieties of Hostess donuts, 9.5 to 11.25 ounce bags, 2 for $3. Additional savings in our meat department. Lean, whole, bone-in, shorter pork butts, $1.99 a pound. And Eckrich smoked sausage or Polska kielbasa, 39 to 42 ounce packages, $7.88 each. In the produce department, sweet seedless halos, 3-pound bag, $3.99 each, and Haas variety avocados are 77 cents each. In our deli department, popcorn chicken bowls, 1-pound package, $6.99 each. And this week, selected varieties of Coke, Sprite, or Dr. Pepper, 6-pack, half-liter bottles, 4 for $16.
So get in on the great wintertime savings right now at Coons Market. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
All right, let's wrap up some open talk with some good calls up until the top of the hour. 866-391-1020. Here he is, live and direct from the North Hills of Pittsburgh, JD. Good morning, JD.
Morning, Rob. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, man?
We're just getting ready for the Pitt game here in a few hours, so just laying here and just thinking about the Pitt game right now. So they need this one, like you said, how that desperate win needs a good home win today, and this would be the game that they need, and they need some breaks along the way. So it has been an interesting year for Pat Narduzzi. It's been like a Jekyll and Hyde season, sort of like the Steelers. But if they can win today, they can finish the season and get some luck on their side, they'll finish with a nice postseason affair. Hopefully this time they won't fall apart like last year.
So what about the Steelers' chances against Buffalo tomorrow? Buffalo coming off that horrendous loss to Houston in which Josh Allen was sacked 8 times. What do you think?
The Steelers are going to have to show up. I mean, plain and simple. I mean, Buffalo's got a lot of guys hurt. We've got some guys hurt, too. But Buffalo's a little banged up going in this one. But if we don't take advantage of this one, then you look at next week at Buffalo, and then you look after that Miami in 2 weeks. I mean, all of a sudden, postseason is looking bleaker and bleaker.
Well, let's just hope the Panthers get one. This will do so much to keep Heinzel around, recruiting, give them a chance to kind of roll into that next chapter as far as the elite, and maybe moving forward as they expand the college football playoffs, the Panthers actually will have a chance to maybe start thinking about that down the road. You know what? You're right about Coach Narduzzi. You got to give the guy a lot of credit because he has definitely turned things around in a big way. They have been on a roll, especially in the ACC, and if they could get a win today, that would make a big splash for the Panther football program.
Big time. Big time.
All right, buddy. You be good, okay?
I take care.
All right, here he goes. JD, let's head to Plum. Here's Robert. Robert, welcome to KDK. Good morning.
Well, thank you, Rob. I hope you had a safe and happy Thanksgiving, first of all. And the other thing I wanted to discuss is you were talking about deer. The deer are overpopulated everywhere here in Plum. It's getting too much over here. That's not the reason I called you. It's that the reason that nobody wants to go deer hunting anymore, it's just too expensive, and there's too many rules and regulations anymore. The young people can't follow all these rules out there today. Hate to say that, but it is true. And the other thing I called you about is you have to really watch your local municipalities and what they're trying to do. Like over in Plum, they try to pull this eco paparazzi on us, where they wanted to hire people to go around and take pictures of your garbage and see what you were putting in there and making sure that you had it all recycled correctly and everything like that, and they were going to take it out and everything like that. We stopped that over here. It's like way too much rules and regulations anymore coming from your municipalities out there. And I think that's one of the reasons people really don't want to do things anymore. It's just too many rules and regulations. I mean, things you used to do are now not considered okay, and I think that's what's driving a wedge between the families here today. It's all political now instead of it being all family oriented out there. You have to really watch what your municipalities are trying to do as far as rules and regulations. And the other thing is that people are really feeding the deer right now. We have too many people out there feeding the deer, so the deer are becoming more and more domesticated instead of wild out there. I can tell you that much. And that no one knows what to do with all these deer here. And if we don't watch ourselves in a few years, you're going to see more and more deer quadrupling all over the place out there. But the other thing I called you about is you really got to watch out there what they're going to try and do today with some of these municipalities and things like that. You got to get involved today. I think that's the big problem. They're doing this because no one's getting involved and everyone's just expecting the other guy to do it. And I'm encouraging everyone to really read all the rules and regulations Because one day you're going to wake up, like some of my friends did, and they find out they can only have a 10 by 10 foot garden out there, no matter how much property you have. And, and that's really scary out there because you're not really going to be able to do any gardening or anything like that out there, Rob. And that's all I got for you this week here.
All right, Robert.
On there.
So what's your day plan? What are you doing today?
Well, today I have to go to visit my mom and dad, and I have to help them out do Christmas decorations. That's what I'm going to be doing.
Well, there you go. Well, tell mom and dad we said hello, okay?
Okay, I'll tell them that. Thank you, Rob.
All right, buddy. Be good. There's the Brain Trust in Plum. Always love hearing from him. Listen, before we go, I just want to remind you that these holidays, they do come by quickly, but they go just as quick. So if you get a little bit of downtime that you can spend with some family, as I said, I got to see my children briefly. It's never it's never long enough, right? But it's just nice to get caught up with people and see what the rest of the world is doing right now. Look, you have to understand something. I know I get a little harsh and I start beating down on certain things, and sometimes I just can't stop, banging the gavel, trying to make you all understand that I'm right. And you know it because it's about the good fight. It's about keeping us on the straight and narrow in this country. I think anybody who understands what I'm about, law and order, peaceful protest, more importantly, helping your neighbors, contributing to your community, carving out a income because you have found your niche in life to be able to take care of those people who are a part of your life, is really the standard bearer. That's what we're supposed to live by. And we are all members of the human race. It doesn't matter the race of someone, the color of their skin, their ethnicity, obviously, their ethnic background, their religious beliefs. It's just about all of us working together. And what really frustrates me so much is that this great divide continues. Look, you don't have to like certain people that are running the country or the Commonwealth or your community, municipality, city, borough, township, however large or small. But you have to at least respect the person who has taken time to run for public office. Look, I may not agree with a lot of these people, but it has nothing to do with them being a Democrat or a Republican. Hey, I basically look at everybody for who they are and what they bring to the table. And if there's anybody that is serving this community that we call home, who is out there trying to look at it with a broad brush, trying to figure it all out to make sure that they are doing good deeds that are going to help everyone across the board, I will stand by that person and work side by side with them every day until they at least accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. We have so many false promises and things that never become fruition because we get so caught up in the blame game, the finger pointing, the arguing, the complaining. The complaining is off the charts. If I had a penny, which they don't even really think that they're fashionable anymore, I still think pennies are important. Back in the day when you went to the penny candy store, it mattered, right? But if I had a penny for every negative reaction in the nation's capital, in the state's capital, I would have been retired 10 years ago. It just seems to me it's the sizzle and the steak. It's the only thing that sells. If you have somebody come out, talk about like that energy summit at Carnegie Mellon with Senator McCormick, that is massive news. That's something to get excited about. That's something to promote. But people would rather get into the president and his remarks and some of the knucklehead things that he says and others say, as opposed to really wrapping your hands around and embracing something that's going to make a difference. If we do just a half of what this energy summit was talking about, it will change the course of history, not just for your child, but our grandchildren as well. So let's start just trying to remain positive. Look, I'll debate the issues with you, and when somebody does something that I think that is flat out ridiculous and wrong, I will call them out. But in the end of the day, when it's all said and done and we turn the lights out and put our head on the pillow, we got to have pleasant thoughts about what we accomplished positively during the day, the joy that we got out of the day, and when those eyes open up in the morning, we have to continue to attack life, but we have to hope for the same results when in a very short time, the lights are out and our head is back on that pillow. All right, back at it tomorrow with Open Talk, but now we're shifting gears and heading into Pittsburgh Works. Lots of good stuff all the way until 1 o'clock today, so stay with us. It's the holiday weekend. It's your Pratt Pack. It is the weekend on KDKA 100.1 FM AM 1020. Don't forget that Odyssey app, AUDACY. Of course, the Metropolitan Window video screen, KDKRadio.com, KDK Watch. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, you need to, so you can see everything that's happening in the studio all the time. Your Pratt Pack, good morning.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Father Tom Burke of the Diocese of Pittsburgh. Join me for Catholic Education Plus as we feature Central Catholic High School, where students are helping those who are in need. Catholic Education Plus airs this Sunday morning at 6:30 and is sponsored by Sam and Judy Spanos and the Diocese of Pittsburgh.
100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA, covered by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 platinum roofing company.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Festivities continue, and we think of people who need our help. Brian Goulas, Vice President, Marketing Communications, Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank.
Yeah, so even with the federal aid resuming, we are bracing for record demand throughout the rest of the year, the holiday season. And just to put that in perspective, over the last 2 weeks, we've more than 2 million pounds of food out of our warehouse.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. Firefighters battled a house fire on Friday afternoon in Elizabeth Township. That fire broke out near Dillon Road around 4:30. Still no word on if anyone was injured in that fire. Cause of the fire is under investigation. Autopsy results conducted on a 9-month-old baby who died earlier this year show she died from a lethal mix of drugs. And now the Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office on Friday said 9-month-old Lena Bedry died from a combination of blood pressure and antidepressants and labeled the death a homicide. The Ohio Township infant was taken to the hospital back in late April, died about an hour after ingesting the drugs. Well, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey remains in Washington, D.C., visiting with the family of the National Guardsman who died.
It's really important for folks to know that West Virginians have the Guards back.
Morrissey speaking with KDKA TV. U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old.
Every account is that she was an incredible person and very positive, and everyone seemed to love her. And she loves her state, she loved her country, and we should all be very proud of Sarah for what she's done.
And 24-year-old U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized.
I have been able to visit with them, and obviously Andrew is in very serious condition. And the most important thing I've been asked by the family right now is to send prayers his way.
Morrissey says 300 West Virginia National Guardsmen were deployed to D.C. back in August. 160 to 170 remain. He thanked the Guardsmen who've gone to D.C., saying those who remain volunteer to be there. Well, while many are hitting the stores this weekend, others are getting ready to take to the woods today for another major tradition. Here's News Radio KDK's David Ballarado.
Deer season gets underway Saturday, and this is also the first year of expanded Sunday hunting in Pennsylvania, which runs through December 13th. Hunters with rifle licenses are allowed 1 buck, and with every special license, 1 antlerless deer. More antlerless licenses have been issued for 2025. Last year, nearly 284,000 deer were harvested during the 2-week rifle season, including 197,000 antlerless deer. Hunters must wear a minimum of 250 square inches of fluorescent orange on their head, chest, and back combined. David Colorado News Radio, KDKA.
KDKA Radio News Time 7:03. AccuWeather forecast is next.
Okay, listen. The Bocce House of Pittsburgh, it is officially open. Find the Bocce House, RIDC Park on Alpha Drive. Memberships, a luxury cigar lounge, league play for all skill levels. Do this. Grab some friends, enjoy delicious food, pour yourself a drink at the self-pour bar system. The fun is in your hands. The Bocce House of Pittsburgh in Fox Chapel, where great food, great drinks, and even better company meet on that bocce court. Visit theboccehouse.com for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Have a house you're ready to sell? Ryan Shalaba here with the Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, and I want to make your next home sale the easiest one yet. With over a decade in business and 175 plus 5-star reviews, we've helped people in all different situations get the most money out of their house when they need it. We'll save you time, money, and stress, and we'll even help you move. Call 412-500-9057. We'll get you a cash offer in as little as 24 hours. That's 412-500-9057 or visit homebuyersofpittsburgh.com today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Sia and I support Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
At a time when children are in crisis, the Kids Mental Health Foundation envisions a future where mental health is a vital part of growing up, and support starts with all of us. At home, at school, at practice, everywhere kids are.
If you're at school having a bad day, you just don't want to do anything.
I just get these thoughts like, do better. All my little emotions in my head is just running crazy. I don't know what to do.
As a teacher or coach, do you ever feel overwhelmed?
He's just in tears in the huddle. Yeah, I was like, what's wrong? And he's just like, I'm just so frustrated, and I didn't know what to do.
None of my undergraduate studies talked about mental health.
Teachers need tons of help. The Kids Mental Health Foundation is the leading organization promoting mental health for children in the U.S. and has free tools and information developed by experts.
Having those resources is the same as the CPR class to me. We're trying to save a life here.
Check out kidsmentalhealthfoundation.org to get started.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings clouds and cold conditions with a high of 35. Then those clouds eventually yield some snow and rain late tonight with a low of 30. That snow and rain continues early tomorrow before changing to rain with little or no snow accumulation, high 42, with clouds and cold conditions again for Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm meteorologist LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Nanco and Total Talk. Information on the program is intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information aired on the following program.
These are the people, the movers and shakers, the businesses, the people you know in your community who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, it's your Pratt Pack for Nan Cohen Total Talk. Corey Winwood is here, the Balance Wag, and Marlene is here from Dorothy's Candies. Oh, how sweet it is, the holiday season upon us. But we're going to begin by saying hello to both of them. First off, Marlene, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Rob. Great to be here today.
Great to have you here, Corey. Always good to see you. When it comes to the Balance Wag, tell everybody a little bit about what you do every day.
Yeah, so I have a in-home dog training business. So I travel to clients and, spend a lot of time with them. Multitude of different reasons why I'm there. But, ultimately north of the city, out and about all the time, dealing with, the common things that seem easy for some, but other people just struggle with getting on track with their dogs.
Somebody wanted me to ask you this the last time you were here, and now that I'm actually kind of pinch hitting for Nan for a little while this morning, do you basically handle all breeds?
Yes. Yeah. There's differences in breeds, but, all in all, a dog, they think the same way. So there's a lot of similarities, but you have to tap into the specific breeds. But yes, everything from big to small to young and to old.
So my son came over for a little bit on Thanksgiving. I was working in the home studio, and we were talking about his dog, Jackson, Australian Shepherd, who's a rescue dog.
Yep.
And I said, how's things going? He's been going through some training. He said, really, really good. But why is it that certain dogs just have something about people in uniforms? What's that all about? Why is there an issue with that? Like the mail person, the Amazon person, why?
Well, I think you can read into that a lot of different ways, but I take it and break it down very simply that sometimes if we don't give dogs the proper jobs to do, they create them. Mm-hmm. So think about it. Mailman comes to the door, dog barks, mailman leaves. While that's every day for the mailman, the dog probably thinks it's, protecting its turf.
Right, good stuff. Now, can you actually prevent all of this from happening if you start from day one with puppies? And I want to talk about puppies, picking a puppy out and actually getting them up on the right path from the very beginning so you're not dealing with some of these behavioral issues later.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favorite parts of, some of my clients that have young puppies because it's all preventative and we're thinking big picture. So, you pick the right dog for you and your family. There are a lot of times I see people who kind of outkick their coverage with the amount of work that, let's say, a German Shepherd needs just to be a family pet versus, some smaller dogs or even, Goldens and Labs are great for families. But, it starts out thinking of all the ways that we give this dog everything it needs without, taking into account that it's going to grow into be in some cases, 80 to 100-pound dog. So we don't want that dog jumping on you 6 months down the road. Let's nip it in the bud right now.
People sometimes outkick their coverage. They think bigger is better. But these designer dogs, which have become very popular, like the cockapoos and what have you, how do you know what's the right dog for you? Like, you don't want a Jack Russell if you like sitting on the couch.
No, for sure. And there's a lot that goes into... There are so many doodles right now. It's crazy.
It's amazing.
And I think anyone in the pet industry will agree. Sometimes I forget what kind of doodle is in front of me. But it is very important to understand the breed, do the research. And, in a lot of cases, too, the old adage of the Heinz 57 dog that has a makeup of a bunch of different breeds. I mean, there are amazing dogs that are in rescues that might be a year or two old, and that might fit into what someone in particular is looking for. Maybe they don't want to start with a puppy. They want to, jump ahead to having a dog that's already a little more established.
So my dad was the dog whisperer. He just had an ability with all animals. Spent a little time on a farm as a kid growing up. But it was just natural instinct. And obviously, as we all kind of grew and went on our own and had our own pets, we would kind of go back to him a little bit for advice. But why do you think what you do is so important today? And I see more people leaning into people like you, and the Balanced Wag has got a great reputation. Why do you think your services are needed now more than ever?
Well, I think the industry is changing, that people are taking into account the emotions of their dogs a lot more than they have before. I mean, we've taken a domesticated animal and put them in a house, and I think from that perspective, we need reminders that we need to tap into everything that a dog is good at, but at the same time, giving structure that works for everybody. And in my opinion, clear is kind. So if your dog understands the expectations that you're giving, then you're going to have a more harmonious household. So ultimately, that's where I fit in, to point those things out and show people basically you might be over communicating with your dog, and gently just step in and do some coaching. It's more about the people than it is the dogs. I mean, I walk in and people will often say, wow, I'm so excited to see how much my dog engaged with you. And in my head, I'm kind of going through the process of, I did everything in my mind to make sure that dog was going to listen to me. And then that's what I want to give to my clients, so they kind of have that. There's no magic in dog training, but it looks pretty cool when your dog is just listening to what you're asking it to do because it understands.
All right, so how can people get a hold of you? We're going to come back one more segment, then we'll spend the final two segments with Marlene. Dorothy's Candy's getting revved up for the holiday season. How can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so best is my website, which is www.thebalancedwag, BALANCEDWAG.com, and or by phone 724-472-7575.
So how long does this process usually take with you? Obviously, it's different with everybody.
It's absolutely different with everybody, but the beginning stages, you get a 2-hour session with me, and then from there we decide where do we want to take it from there. I have clients that I work with 3 times a week. I have some people that it might be 2-3 sessions, and everything's polished up and good. So it depends.
You really love what you do, don't you?
I do.
I can tell. All right, we'll come back. Much more to come. Nan Cohen, Total Talk, as you can understand. It's not Nan, it's me, but she is en route. Just one of those days she should have hit the snooze alarm. Been there, done that. That's okay. We'll take a short break. We'll come back. Stay with us.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
News Radio, KDKA, Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market, with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State and Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Have you been diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer? You may qualify for a clinical trial studying an investigational therapy designed to activate your immune system to fight cancer throughout the body. If your prostate cancer has spread and you've received prior hormone therapy, you may be eligible. Take the next step in your fight. Visit Legion100trial.com to learn more or call 1-888-636-5344. That's Legion100trial.com or 1-888-636-5344.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20. And we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
For 70 years, we've been known as the Humane Society of the United States. But as the challenges animals face have grown, so have we. We are now called Humane World for Animals. And if you love animals, you're part of our world. Humane World for Animals. The end of animal cruelty.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Corey is here, Balanced Wag, and of course Marlene. We'll be talking about Dorothy's Candies coming up. So how do you know you're getting a puppy from a reputable person? How do you know? What's the background you need to do?
Well, I mean, there's a lot that you can find out on the internet these days, so you should do your investigations to make sure that, you know, everything looks good, and talk to the breeder and get an idea of why they're doing it. Will they take a dog back if something doesn't work out? In my opinion, every breeder that does it for the right reasons will take their dogs back. So there's a checklist that you can kind of go through, and, you know, you should look for references as well to people who, you know, have long lines of dogs. But, you know, some people, if they go back to a breeder once or twice, you know that typically that's probably someone you want to do business with.
Do you do it from the jump? Say somebody calls you, say, we want to get a puppy. We're not sure what we want. Can you help us through the process, how to get it, and then train it?
That's actually my favorite thing to do, is start with the clients before they even get their dog.
What a great idea.
So sometimes they'll have an idea of what dog that they want, or they're just waiting for the litter to be of age to come home. But I step in and start with everything that they're going to need when that puppy comes into the door. And again, how do we get started from the moment that dog comes home with potty training? Like, that is something that if you get it right, you never have to do it again, you know, until maybe there's health issues way down the line. But ultimately, that's one thing that you do it right the first time. And I have charts and things that I give my clients, so they're able to, you know, I can come back and look and say...
Timeline.
Yeah, and I can look and say, well, the dog probably was, you know, contained too long, and that's why it had an accident, or make sure. But, yeah, there's a lot of little things, and just the same old, you know, when in doubt, let them out. So potty training is a huge one from day one.
So one of the things that my dad was really ahead of his time with was treat training, okay? Mm-hmm. Back in the day, some of those grizzled World War II vets, it was, you know, nose in the doo-doo, and they'll never do it again. My dad just was never about that. So why does treat training seem to work?
Well, I mean, I think why do we work? We work for a reward or money. I mean, we get paid. So dogs want to get paid for what they're doing.
Right.
So from that perspective, it's a tool that, when used correctly and paired with a marker, I mean, there's a value that you can't put on treats, and I believe that if a dog is treat motivated, it can learn anything. So, you know, it's something that you want to create a gambler in your dog, in the sense that I want to ask it a few times, and I want it to constantly follow through. So hopefully, you know, it finally hits that pull on the slot machine, where even if it's for a couple bucks, it's excited because it's getting the food reward.
Any particular treats you found successful more than others?
I really love freeze-dried single ingredient. So freeze-dried chicken is something that, in multiple brands, but I've really not had a dog that's not interested in it. But it's kind of funny too. If a dog has dry kibble, you can use their kibble to to also train. And some people think that their dog doesn't want it, but once you get a dog working and they understand what you want, they'll eat just about anything. So
they will.
Yeah.
Speaking of eating, how do you basically get them off of mom's milk, okay, and then roll them into that solid food? What are we looking at the timeline? What age?
So that will happen while they are still with their breeder and or, depending on what gets them into your household. But they should come to you, at 8 weeks or later with dry food already.
Right.
And then you're going to stay on that dry food pretty much until you're in agreement with your vet of when it's time to transfer. And then it's very important to take into account the size of the dog in terms of what kind of food you're giving them. And then, feed them the right amount, and that's about it.
So in the old days, it was a cardboard box, and now it's crate where you basically put these animals at night. Puppies, crates, good, all of that?
Oh my gosh. In my opinion, it's impossible to raise a puppy without a crate and or a small confined space. But the problems we can prevent by just shutting a dog off, not to mention that puppies need roughly 16 hours of sleep a day. So if they're out and about and moving and following you, they're not getting the rest that they need.
By the way, Nan Cohen slept in today, so I'm the dog whisperer now, and then I'll turn into the chocolate king in just a couple of moments. But whatever it takes, we'll get it done, and everybody's entitled to miss the alarm every once in a while. So Nan may actually end up here before the hour's up, but if not, we will forge ahead. Next hour, Secure Money Advisors, Brian Caranta and I. Of course, that's a best of edition. 9 o'clock, MediConnect. Of course, the Inside Connection as the enrollment period continues until December the 7th. 10 o'clock, Mike Broniszewski in today for Andy, who is out of town on vacation this holiday weekend. We'll talk about some big sales that are taking place this weekend and beyond at True Value. Andrea Benacki at 11 o'clock, AAA Central's Talking Travel, and then Carl Zacharias from Law for the Elderly to wrap up our day today on KDKA. Do you have any, I know you love Australian Shepherds because that's your thing, and I get it. I do too because of my son, but what about some of the other breeds that, I don't know, you kind of have a lot of respect for, and maybe if somebody's actually looking for you to make that decision, more times than not, you may lean into that. So let's talk about some of these particular breeds as you start them as puppies into that home and hopefully creating lasting memories with the family.
Well, I mean, I've come to love a lot of different breeds over the past few years. I mean, Golden Retrievers, I don't think there's a better family dog. But again, big and can be a rough puppy at first. And then you have smaller dogs that, spaniels. But, it really comes down to finding what kind of dog is going to work for you and your lifestyle. So you're not, thinking that just because, back to Australian Shepherds, I had two. And the second one I thought was going to be just like my first one. Couldn't have been different. I mean, could not have been different, same breed, same situations, but, those are things that also happen that you have to set your expectations that, dogs need a lot of love and care to, go through life with you.
So here's the big question as we close it out with Corey from the Balanced Wag. Rescue dogs as opposed to a puppy. And even rescue puppies are out there as well. I asked my son this because his dog was a rescue. I said, next time, and hopefully it's not a long time from now, because he's had to deal with some issues here, some behavioral issues. He said, no, I'd probably go this route again. So even though all of the extra, it was worth it, but he's 26 years old, peak condition, 6'6", can handle this dog, and it works, right? But I really think that a lot of people need to really learn everything about what it is to have a rescue dog as opposed to going out with someone like yourself and starting by getting a puppy. You really don't know what you're getting with a rescue dog. There's a lot of intangibles. So if you really want to be a dog owner the very first time and you've got young people in the family, you may want to go the traditional route. Just something, that's my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, rescues is a commitment, not knowing the background, and there's a big time period that will pass of just the dog assimilating to its new life. And that's hard for people sometimes to realize that the dog you might bring home as a rescue on day one is not going to be the same dog at 3 months. So, there's a lot of things to take into account when you're rescuing.
Listen, great job today.
Thank you.
I really admire what you do. So if you can, fill in the blanks and let everybody know how they can get a hold of you. The first thing when you're thinking about anything when it comes to your dog, you need to think of Corey because a lot of passion for what he does. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, thank you, Rob. So my website is www.thebalancedwag.com, and then phone number 724-472-7575.
Those Australian Shepherds are smart, though.
They are, and since we last talked, I adopted another Australian Shepherd that's deaf and partially blind, and he's the smartest dog when you have his attention. I'll have to share some videos.
I kept telling my son when I was taking his dog Jax for a walk around the yard one day, I said he kept pushing me up on the front porch. He said, he's herding you. Don't you understand that?
Yeah.
And how smart, just incredibly smart. Hey, happy holidays, okay?
Same to you.
Thank you. Stay with us. Marlene Druskin is here. Dorothy's Candies, how sweet it is as we continue for Nan Cohen. It's Nan Cohen Total Talk today on KDKA with your Pratt Pack. Coming up in a couple of minutes, Rob Taylor checks the news, then we'll get right back at it today for our Saturday on KDKA. Good morning.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Honey, I found the perfect place for my parents and us.
Where?
St. Barnabas. For us, the Woodlands Carriage Home Community. And for my parents, condominium-style living at the Village. My folks will love the Village. There's an indoor mall with shops, restaurants, and more. And we can relax, knowing they're safe and secure.
That's what I plan to do when we move to St. Barnabas. Relax.
Call 724-444-5568 or visit stbarnabascommunities.com.
This weekend only in honor of Small Business Saturday, save 20% off Sniper, your hospital-grade virus killer, Harmony Organic Insect Control, and Knockout, your multi-purpose odor eliminator. Good at EV True Value Hardware in Bethel Park and other participating True Value Hardware stores.
It's Marty Griffin. I have seen so much angst and anger these days that, what's overwhelmed me with joy and optimism? This Get Marty. The folks in this community that have stepped up. You can't help your neighbor if you hate your neighbor. Get Marty epitomizes that opportunity to help people, feed people, clothe people, educate people. If you need me, get Marty at kdkradio.com.
Get Marty is presented by Philip DeLuceni and Associates, Levin Furniture, UPMC Health System, CNS Construction, John Keefe Restaurant Group of Oakmont, and by Robert Pierce and Associates. From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 27 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 7:30. I'm Rob Taylor. Firefighters battled a house fire on Friday afternoon in Elizabeth Township. That fire broke out near Dillon Road around 4:30 Friday afternoon. Still no word, though, on if anyone was injured in that fire. Cause of the fire is under investigation. Well, the Penn Hills School District on Friday announced the death of one of its students. High school sophomore Victor Adeleke died on Thanksgiving. Penn Hills School officials said on its Facebook page, making that announcement. No other details on the 10th grader's death were announced. The school district says additional counseling and support services will be made available when school returns on Tuesday. Well, West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey remains in Washington, D.C., visiting with the family of the guardsman who died.
It's really important for folks to know that West Virginians have the guards back.
Morrissey speaking with KDKA-TV. U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old.
Every account is that she was an incredible person and very positive, and everyone seemed to love her. And she loves her state. She loved her country. And we should all be very proud of Sarah for what she's done.
And 24-year-old U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized this morning.
I have been able to visit with them, and obviously Andrew is in very serious condition. The most important thing I've been asked by the family right now is to send prayers his way.
Morrissey says 300 West Virginia National Guardsmen were deployed to Washington, D.C. in August, and 160 to 170 remain there. A popular Korean-inspired restaurant has closed its doors. Bebe's Kitchen and its nearby location, Bebe's Cafe, closed for good, according to its owners on the store's Instagram page. Bebe's Kitchen opened in 2017 on Liberty Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh. It announced it would restructure as a late-night bar and supper club in January, but the owners now cite financial stress as the reason both locations have closed for good. KDKA Radio News time is 7:32. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Just a quick question. Does it encrypt your online traffic the same as NordVPN?
No, but it protects your device. Just pop that CD in and you're good to go.
But it will stop your internet service provider and other snoopers from monitoring you online, right?
Oh, no, not really. It won't stop online snoopers or block annoying ads. In fact, forget what I said at the beginning of this ad. This ad is now about NordVPN. I just realized that an antivirus is only half protection online. So get better online protection with the NordVPN Black Friday deal. It will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. This Black Friday, get NordVPN with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months. Yeah!
Both customers and local business owners can enjoy the rewards of Small Business Saturday. Starting this Friday, visit EV True Value in Bethel Park for 20% off Harmony Organic Insect Control, Sniper, your hospital-grade virus killer, and Knockout, your multi-purpose odor eliminator. Keep everyone in the family, including your pets, safe with Sniper. Stay ahead of the germs and viruses. Simply spray and walk away. 20% off sale good at all participating True Value hardware stores.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings another cold day with plenty of clouds and a high of 35. Those clouds eventually give way to some mixed rain and snow later tonight with a low of 30. That rain-snow mix continues early tomorrow before changing to a bit of rain after little or no snow accumulation, high 42, and cloudy and cold Monday, high 34. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is paid for by Nanco and Total Talk.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
Well, Nan is in, and I guess she didn't have to hit the snooze alarm again. You understand, that's happened to me, too. So don't feel bad. We all have that tendency to oversleep a little bit. So it's good to see you. She's here, and she's once again telling me to take the lead. So that's exactly what I will do. She's kind of set up her video camera, and they're putting out some of these sweet treats from Dorothy's Candies, and Marlene is here. So, Marlene, let's talk a little bit about, now that Thanksgiving is come and gone, we still have the turkey legs, but we have a lot of good treats that we're going to be promoting right through that incredible season that is Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, all of the good stuff that lies ahead. But you've been doing this for so long, as has Robert, and obviously carrying on the tradition of his mother. Isn't it amazing how quickly these holidays come around?
Definitely. And they go so fast for me, because the work is constant. The people are coming in. They're loving to get what they want for their family celebration for the holidays. So, yes, and I love it. It's great.
You guys have so many signature items, but there are certain things that you do that people just have to have on their table during the holiday season. Have they pretty much stayed the same as far as your time there, or have you seen new things come in that have become more and more popular each and every year? But what are some of the standards that people have to have?
Well, everything that is related to the holiday, all of our molds that have the, for the kids, the Santa Claus items, the reindeer. We have wonderful, the apples that we put out for people who will put them on their table as desserts or decorations. It's fantastic. We have the Polar Express train that goes on. We have specific things that are for the holiday.
You know, and these novelty items, a lot of them kind of stay, the box or the tray or whatever stays with the family to where people have a chance to kind of utilize that, and it becomes a part of their tradition. When they pull out certain ornaments, there's that little box from Dorothy's Candies that's been around for 10 or 15 years. So this is the gift that really does keep giving, even if the candy has been removed, right?
No, that's right. And we love what goes on down at the shop, the store, even when people call in. But they walk in, we hear them all talking, and it's usually they're in a group of people, and the person will be talking to their grandchild or their child, and they'll be telling stories to them. And we just kind of are there and hear this going on, and it gives us such a great feeling. Or they'll notice something new, and they start discussing the memories, telling the kids of the memories that they've had, and that we get this every year. They could be 4 or 5 years old, and then what we find out is even when they move away, a lot of people leave the area, they still call. I get those calls, and they say it won't be the same. You know, we've always had this growing up, and we want to continue it.
You know, I'm all about labels and basically promoting a business. The boxes that you have and the color that you have, the scheme, there's something really distinctive about the pink that you have and the gold bows and wrapping. Has that always been that color?
That has been like that. The owner, Robert Gastel's mother. This is a 78-year-old business.
Amazing.
Yes, and she started it in her basement, and as they got to this, she is the one who did the design on the box, and this is the color they chose, and he won't change it.
I love it.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's a very pretty fuchsia type pink, and it stands out. And it looks very presentable, so.
Pretty in pink for sure.
Yep.
All right, tell everybody where you're at, what's going on, holiday hours, all that good stuff, and coming off the open house, of course, as well.
Sure. We are in White Oak at 1228 Long Run Road. You can see us on the web at dorothyscandies.com, and you can order there 24 hours a day on the web. You can also choose the date you would like your products to be shipped. You could do it now, ship them in 2 weeks, just put that date in there. And our phone number is 412-678-2723. And stop in. We're there right now, 10 to 4. And just check our website, and the hours will be going a little longer starting on the 7th.
Isn't it amazing how people have certain taste and flavors from the ooey and the gooey? And
yes.
It's just, everybody has different tastes when it comes to chocolate. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Well, everybody's palate is different. You know, we could eat the same thing, and we'll have a different taste. You know, you may love it. Somebody else may not like something. You know, but that's how we're all unique.
You know how I used to love to eat candy, and I used to do it with my grandmother with a cup of coffee.
That's I've said this on the show before. That's my graham crackers. I love to have. They're the best for me with coffee.
You know, I used to love to get graham crackers.
Chocolate covered graham crackers.
Yes, a little bit of butter on it. You know what I mean? Oh, nothing quite like it.
Some things appeal to people, and where they would not to somebody else.
So, how did you ever get connected with Robert and Dorothy's? How'd that meeting take place?
Well, even before I started there 15 years ago, we had it growing up. We had the chocolate. That's the chocolate place, you know, in our local areas, and so I had it, and I had lived away for a couple of decades, and when I came back, my cousin had worked there.
Oh, really?
Yes, she worked there for 5 years, and then she had left, and she had been telling me when I moved back about, you should come down here and work. You should come down here. And then I had circumstances in my home. My mom lived with us. She passed away, and it was one of those deals where I couldn't be in the I missed her. I couldn't be in the house, you know. So I went out to look for something, and that's where I went. And
rest is history.
Well, I actually got hired talking to him over the phone.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he had called while I was out and came home. My husband told me, and I called him on a Friday night, and he said he wanted to have an interview, and we talked for a while, and after 20 minutes, he says, you know what? I'm going to hire you right now.
You know what's amazing about these family-owned businesses? How they pump out so much product, and they're just a group of close-knit people, and they work together simultaneously, seamlessly. It's like a massive manufacturing conveyor belt, and it all just works.
It does, and it's small family business, but yet I tell people, if you walked into the front of our store, It's beautiful. It's quaint. You get a good feel. You see all of the beautiful packages. But I still tell people it is a business. It's a business. It has everything that goes along with that business, because the feel you get is just like, oh, I just get to go and pick out some candy.
Right.
And I'm there. There's a lot that goes in.
Moving parts.
That's like what you were just saying. And that's what it is. And we do it all ourselves. It's hand dipped. It's a big thing going on behind the door they see at the register.
So Nan is plugging in now. So
sure.
Rob Pratt Total Talk has been canceled, and now it's Nan Cohen Total Talk. I'll just tell you a quick story. Back in the day in the Rocks, there was a wonderful woman named Tracy. She had Teresa's Cookies, and I was fascinated by it. No longer there, but I remember I was thinking, because these cookies were everywhere. I'm thinking this is like Keebler, this is Nabisco, this is big time.
The good ones.
So I go to her house. I'm like, okay, when are we going to go to this factory? She says, what factory? I said, so we go down the basement, and there were like 8 beautiful Italian women at card tables and ovens making these cookies. And I thought to myself, if you believe it, you can achieve it, and obviously a much larger scale. But what Robert has done, started by his mother, now 78, it's a phenomenal story.
Yes, and she started in her basement making chocolates to give away as gifts to friends, family, whatever. And people said, you should be doing this.
Great
and
story.
She started doing it, yes.
Well, you're a big reason why they're successful, as is Nan Cohen. Nan, it's great to see you. Good morning.
Yes, hello, Nan.
And goodbye, Nan. It's been a great show.
And all I got to say is, yesterday was a rough day for me, because it was, Mal had passed 2 years, was yesterday. But he would have kicked my... You know what?
Right.
If I didn't get up and get out here, so
I was quite surprised.
I'm like, "What are you calling me for, Mar?" And
you're so professional. I was surprised that this was happening. But
I'm a real
understood.
person. Life happens.
But I understood.
Well, the problem was I probably didn't have my Dorothy's before I went to bed, because I always have one peppermint cream before I go to bed. Dark chocolate.
That's a great treat.
Yeah, that dark chocolate. So that's probably what it was.
Okay.
I listened to Corey. Good job. Great show. With Rob. I owe you one. Marlene, your phone call led me to believe that you didn't, we were still in awe over the open house.
Oh, it was great.
So welcoming.
Yes.
I mean, that's what you talk about. That's why you gotta love Pittsburgh.
And that's to even have that special time. I mean, people are coming in all the time, but to have that special time as the open house, that's where you really get to hear these stories. People start talking about it all because they're in the mood, in the feel of everything for the holiday.
Yeah, it's totally. Mm-hmm. We got to talk about some stuff that goes on, behind the scenes. Your chocolatiers back there, they can't do enough for the people for the holidays. I heard the biggest thing I heard about was the cherry cordials, turkey legs, and that's kind of is in the running. Your cherry cordials, the way they're made. People don't understand.
It's a huge process. Yes,
right.
It's a big process.
This isn't your drugstore box of cherries.
No.
And the cherry cordial, and people just want to know, yes, those are the chocolate-covered cherries at Dorothy's. But
takes about a week.
We got to talk about that. So, yeah, we'll go and take a quick break.
Quick break. We'll come right back with Nan Cohen. Stay with us.
It's the little things. The information you need. People you know. The little things that make a big difference. The voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio. KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market with 8 locations to serve you. A Pittsburgh tradition. PIAA high school postseason yesterday. Aliquippa fails to advance, but Avonworth going back to the title game. Now today at 1 o'clock, KDKA, Peters Township, Bishop McDevitt. Then at 7 tonight, Central Catholic and Harrisburg. College football yesterday. Arch Manning in Texas knocks Texas A&M from the previously unbeaten ranks. Well, everyone's wondering if Lane Kiffin is now headed to LSU. Did he coach his last game yesterday for Ole Miss? If it is, it was a successful one in the Egg Bowl as they beat Mississippi State. And, of course, the big one here today, Pitt, Miami. You'll hear it on 93.7 The Fan at noon. And Ohio State, Michigan, along with Penn State and Rutgers, all seeing action today. Speaking of Pitt, they took on Ohio State in basketball last night, 67-66. Pitt's a winner. Barry Dunning Jr. led the Panthers with 18 points. Chris Letang got the OT goal as the Pens beat Columbus, the final 4-3. Toronto tonight. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
What does living your best nonstop life mean to you? Cheering on your team at that big game? A music festival with friends? A family vacation? Or maybe a vacation from your family? Live your best nonstop life with low fares and nonstop flights only at Allegiant.com.
Non-stop flights from Pittsburgh to Sarasota Bradenton, one way for as low as $57. Must be purchased by 12/3/2025 for travel between 10/28/2025 and 5/17/2026. Seats and dates are limited. Restrictions apply. See Allegiant.com for details.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
SchultzFord.com, 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 SchultzFord.com.
These are the people who make Pittsburgh work. This is Pittsburgh Works on 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Right back to Nan and Marlene for the final segment of Nan Cohen Total Talk, but she's going to be with us quite a bit in the weeks to come, as will Marlene, as we count down to the holiday season with Dorothy's Candy.
I think I'm here every week.
You are.
And then we have my friend's show coming up. That's tradition,
right.
yeah.
December 16th.
I've been doing that show for 16 years.
Really?
Yeah. Started in KQV.
Yeah, I was going to say.
16 years. Started down at KQV, yeah. So isn't that nice?
Yeah.
In fact, we had to knock out a wall the last time because we had so many people in here.
But, yeah, we'll see. And it's always a new crowd. There's always new faces.
You know how hard that is to give everybody equal mic time?
Yeah, but, you got the vibe. You're here with me, so it's all that matters, right?
It's part of the test.
That's right. We were talking about the cherry cordials. What is it? You make them in white chocolate and dark chocolate and your Swiss, which is everybody. Right. We clarify that your Swiss is your We want to say you can refer it to milk, but it's not because it doesn't taste like. It's more. It's Swiss. But I'd say if you don't understand what we're talking about, stop out and get a sample. But the cherry cordials, I think they were literally. There was a box in every other hand that I saw. They were just grabbing them.
It is one of the more popular, and especially at the holidays. It's a very nice, refined piece of chocolate. And the cherries are so delicious. The cordial in them, it's wonderful.
Isn't that because that's what Grandma used to have for everybody?
Yeah, it's true.
I think that's what it is.
Been around forever.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. But, I was fortunate enough to taste a little bit at the store during the open house. And the peppermint bark, I don't like it. It's not one of my things that I'd really eat, but I love it at the holiday time at Dorothy's. I love it.
You're having that taste with that premium chocolate on there.
What a really nice surprise.
Yeah.
And everybody asks about the commercials that we do for you, and we try to name as many products as we can. And so, the bark line has just grown and grown and grown.
Right.
And it's when we talk about these fan favorites, having people come in and thanking us for keeping the s'mores bark so late, because we usually just get rid of that, towards the height of the holidays, kicking into the holiday season.
Right.
And of course, we had at the open house, they asked about the strawberry pretzel bark. So, those are the things that, I think Robert's mom would have been proud, the owner of Dorothy's, because I said, you've kept everything in that line
yes.
that she created,
yes.
and it's grown to be the products, I think, as she always said, she wanted elegant and class in her
That's the key
chocolates.
word, the elegance of it. Yes, and why get rid of something that everybody has loved? Don't fix it if it's not broken,
Right.
you know?
Right,
You keep
right,
it going and you just add more to it. You bring in, and people love that as well, to try the new things.
Yeah, and we've got some exciting news. I know you're here with me the next couple weeks. Some things aren't ready to go out for public, but they're going to know soon enough as to what's going on there. But I do want to tell you that we are inclusive of having some Dorothy lovers come into the
Yes.
studio with us. We'd
Mhm.
love to get you in here before the end of the year. And people always want to talk about, well, what's Rob Pratt really like? And I'm like, well, you'll get to meet him. I mean, you might even get him to see him eat a piece of chocolate along the way here in the studio. But that's what we're going to do. So there's posts going up on your social
Yes.
platforms. So let's get that out there. If you want to join us and you want to eat and treat and do everything that we do,
it'll be happening.
it's going to be going on. I can tell you that my car is locked and full of Dorothy's candies, especially around the holiday time. If I can make you smile and you see me, you stop me because I'm there to do it for you.
We need to get you a sidecar logo thing.
No. No on that one. But I do have to say that I love creating the smiles. And that's really, I heard Robert doing a piece of an interview the other day, and he said, my mother loved to have somebody smile.
Absolutely.
And so that's really, we really hold that. And so that's why he kind of says, Nan, do your thing with it.
Yeah.
What is your fan favorite for the holiday season? I don't think I've ever asked you that. Just the holiday stuff.
Okay, just the holiday stuff. I like the logs. See, I'm a fan of the melt-away chocolates.
Yes,
and
she
my
is.
favorite is the peanut butter melt-away. Okay, so the logs, though, are melt-away inside, and we have a potato chip log.
Ugh.
Well, think about it. And you cut that up and it's all smooth inside. You've got pieces of crunchy potato chip. It's wonderful. And then the outside of it is decorated so beautifully too. I mean, it's all wrapped up in the premium chocolate, but then we've got the colorful sprinkles on top. The white and maybe some red and green for Christmas and some decos on it. It's a very presentable piece. It's one of those things you could have sitting like you do a cornucopia at Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I do. It's one of
agree.
those you put them on your dinner table.
And they come in and ask for them.
And they feed quite a few people.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
They do ask. We make a lot.
We were kind of amazed as to how many turkey legs made it out the door.
Oh, my gosh.
They
Yeah.
can't keep them in.
Yeah.
So, I tell you, if you want them, make sure you get that order in because they will be making their appearance for Christmas Eve, I heard. Some family wasn't here for Thanksgiving. I heard all the stories, so those turkey legs will be arriving for their Christmas dinners, and I thought that was great.
Yes. We'll be closed this year on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So if you want them, come in and get them and make your orders. Put your orders in for our apples.
How about that apple order that came in?
Oh, these are beautiful.
60 apples went out on one.
Yeah.
And they are exquisite. I actually am going to leave those here at the station for them to enjoy. But I tell you, please keep doing what you're doing. We love doing what we're doing down there. I drove down just to pop on a video with you yesterday.
I think you're a permanent worker there.
I don't
You're
know.
down there
It's
so
like
much.
I got my work ethic from Rob Pratt.
I'm telling you.
Who
it's
gets on the
great.
road to go do that in the lickety split to go down there? So yeah, that's what we do. But it's always fun. And I'll tell you, the best part of being a part of Dorothy's is meeting the people.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
the stories are great.
It's just incredible.
Mhm.
And I want to tell you, Dorothy'sCandies.com, always on.
Yes.
Get on the website. There's things going on there. Get on our social. Listen, I'm here to make you smile, and was given the opportunity. So whether it's a gift card you're getting from me for Dorothy's, or you're just going to get a nice treat, reach out.
So did I get your paycheck for filling in for you today so I can...
Yeah. Wasn't that the thing that I always owe you?
No, you don't.
I always-
No, you don't. Hey,
Corey.
Good seeing you, Marla.
Corey, we're going to get you back here when I'm live and upright to do a show.
You did great.
Hey,
You're the professional. You did great.
It happens, so.
Yes.
That'll do it for this edition of Nan Cohen Brief Total
That
Talk.
was a quick one.
But she'll be back again before you know it. And don't forget that big Friendsgiving or whatever the name you call that show.
Yeah, that's coming up on December 16th. Rob, thanks for covering that.
You bet, man. No problem. Well, stay with us. It's the best of edition of Secure Money Advisors on the Money with Brian Caranta and I. Then we'll be back in the 9 o'clock hour with the Inside Connection, MediConnect. All still to come today on KDKA.
The proceeding was paid for by Nanco and Total Talk. Information on the program was intended to solely further the public's general knowledge about the product. Opinions expressed should not be relied upon for any purpose by any member of the audience. News Radio KDKA does not guarantee the accuracy of any of the information heard on the preceding program.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Festivities continue, and we think of people who need our help. Brian Goulash, Vice President, Marketing Communications, Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank.
Yeah, so even with the federal aid resuming, we are bracing for record demand throughout the rest of the year, the holiday season. And just to put that in perspective, over the last 2 weeks, we've more than 2 million pounds of food out of our warehouse.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
Great wintertime savings at Coons Market. Isn't that right, Frank Dentisi?
Right, Rob. Save with your Coons Reward Card. 80% lean fresh ground beef, $3.99 a pound. Healthy sweet blueberries, 1 pint package, $1.99 each. And selected varieties of Hostess donuts, 9.5 to 11.25 ounce bags, 2 for $3. Additional savings in our meat department. Lean, whole, bone-in, shoulder pork butts, $1.99 a pound. And Eckrich smoked sausage or Polska kielbasa, 39 to 42 ounce packages, $7.88 each. In the produce department, sweet seedless halos, 3-pound bag, $3.99 each, and Haas variety avocados are 77 cents each. In our deli department, popcorn chicken bowls, 1-pound package, $6.99 each. And this week, selected varieties of Coke, Sprite, or Dr. Pepper, 6-pack, half-liter bottles, 4 for $16.
So get in on the great wintertime savings right now at Coons Market. How do you find the one nearest you? Click on CoonsMarket.com. Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
This holiday, give the gift of peace of mind with a AAA membership, the ultimate stocking stuffer for the ones you love. Enjoy exclusive savings on shopping, dining, theme parks, and even travel planning. Plus, 24/7 roadside assistance you can always count on. Right now, gift a membership for just $35 and get a free household member. They'll even thank you with a $20 gift card. Visit AAA.com/gift. AAA, we're always with you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on an unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you tired of online threats? Then get an antivirus. It's the only online protection you will ever need.
Disclaimer, an antivirus is just half protection online. It will not protect you from snoopers or encrypt your online traffic. So this Black Friday, get better online protection with NordVPN. NordVPN will encrypt your traffic, protect you from malware and phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get the NordVPN Black Friday deal with 73% off and enjoy 3 extra months.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA FM HD2 Pittsburgh, W261AX Pittsburgh.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 28 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 8 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. President Donald Trump is intensifying his immigration crackdown after his administration says the National Guard shooting suspect should have never been allowed in the U.S. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang says President Trump blames the Biden administration.
CBS News' Nancy Cordes pressed Trump on what his own administration found about the more than 76,000 Afghan nationals who entered the U.S. after the chaotic end to the Afghan war in 2021.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let them in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here.
And West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey remains in D.C. with the family of the guardsman who died. U.S. Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old.
Every account is that she was an incredible person and very positive, and everyone seemed to love her. And she loves her state. She loved her country. And we should all be very proud of Sarah for what she's done.
24-year-old U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf remains hospitalized. Well, Pennsylvania is introducing a new way to welcome travelers, as we hear from News Radio KDK's Pat Septak.
What do you get when you combine the traditional camping experience outside with the convenience of modern amenities inside? A new trend called glamping will make its debut at 8 Pennsylvania state parks next year.
Poe Valley, Hills Creek, Laurel Hill, Pine Matooning, Cadorus, French Creek, Hickory Run, and Promised Land.
That's Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Secretary Cindy Adams-Dunn. She says these glamping sites will feature safari-style tents with modern-day amenities.
Glamping provides the best of both worlds, all the creature comforts of a hotel, but close to nature and the outdoors.
Reservations for